What's going on, everybody? Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by G Fuel Energy. Right now, if you use G Fuel code DannyD at checkout at gfuel.com, you'll receive 30% off until July 13th. Using that code directly supports my channel and keeps this podcast coming. Today, we got a two-guest episode for you, and these two guests I thought were very similar as far as content goes. They both like to do game show type stuff. Both of them are really good dudes. I really enjoyed our conversation. Please welcome Sambucha and jankylankyTV. Boom, we're recording.
What's up?
What's going on?
What up, boys?
We were just talking about how Sam was on in April, but Janky was on like 6 months ago. So I guess we'll start with Janky. What's new, man? You still is it Fort Irwin?
Yeah, so I'm still out in the California desert, military style, chilling. Hoping to PCS here at least a year, hopefully another year, and I'll be out. And then I think since the last time we talked, which was 6 months ago, I know I was doing a lot of variety TikTok stuff, and wasn't doing YouTube at all. But since then, we've grown the YouTube to well over 100K, TikTok to well over 300K, Twitch is going on 10K. So we've seen a lot of growth, and it's been cool. It's been a fun ride. We're still not even at that year point yet, but learned a lot since then, and maybe it'll come up when we talk about some stuff over the next couple hours. And and I appreciate you having me back on.
Yeah, man, of course. So had you just started, like right when I had you on? Pretty much?
Yeah. I
That's
started
crazy.
streaming in November of 2020. So that was my first ever stream, was I think midway into November. And I know you had me on, was it December, January, something like that?
I think so. Because I had seen you had been doing those like fake endings for TV shows and stirring up controversy.
I like this.
In these Facebook groups.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Those videos were fun. I'm actually trying to get into that space again of working on like not just so much streaming content, but getting back to like kind of the roots of comedy content. But with everything in life, I just my brain does not have enough functioning power to go and pursue that again. So I'm like in my little bubble of just posting TikToks that are kind of just curated YouTube clips from the videos I post, and then putting that all up on there. So it's kind of a hard grind to put kind of unique and well created and produced content like that out.
Yeah. Sam, what about you? I see you're still killing it with the GeoGuessr stuff. I think you had like a big resurgence with it, it seems like.
The only thing I'll say is, when was I on? Maybe April?
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it April?
Yeah, it was like mid-April, and you were saying that you were going away from them. Like you're
I know,
dude.
It's so crazy. All right, I actually think like immediately after we did the podcast, the next week, like the trend that I've been like milking has been like the content I've been using on all platforms for the past 3 months. So like the past 3 months have been literally like all of the same, but it's been like basically like the references, and started to like TV shows, movies, cultural stuff. And then I got into anime, and I found that sort of niche, and like the community is just so big, and it's like blown up my TikTok account. It's like very quickly like boosted the YouTube shorts, and now my YouTube account, I just got verified today. Like
Congrats.
Now it's like everything is just like trending upwards, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, how much can I milk this until it's dead? So I'm just sort of I'm trying, here and there, like trying to think of new ways to put twists on it and stuff, but just in general, it's just been like the GeoGuessr anime show in my head for the past like 3 months. And that's been driving I have to basically attribute everything to that, because that's been getting like all my views and stuff. And big shout out to this man. I don't know what side he is right here to you, but Janky, like single-handedly is the reason why I even like post on YouTube. And he has basically like, I'll give him all credit for every single subscriber that I've gained, because this man is like a guru for the YouTube shorts and stuff. And he got me on that when I was a non-believer. And like all of a sudden I got picked up, like you said. So Janky is like the god to me. Janky is YouTube god.
We had a whole 2-hour call, and Sam called me and he was like, hey man, because that was when my YouTube was going from the GeoGuessr stuff too. And he was like, hey, like how do I get on this YouTube train? And we had a whole conversation about it. And YouTube Shorts is weird. Like it's a very weird platform, but it can overnight almost boost your channel into a never-ending, seemingly platform of success on YouTube. It's kind of like a speed run. All of a sudden, it just hits, and then you just start going and going and going.
It feels like TikTok sometimes. Like you actually look at it, you take a step back, you're like, wait, I went from this to this in X amount of time. You're like, that's not YouTube. But then you realize Shorts is emulating the TikTok algorithm. And if you get into it, like Janky understood how to get into it, and then he was nice enough to let me know, like the rest is just history. Like they're literally treating it like TikTok, which is crazy because TikTok, of course, as we all know, is like a very good growth platform. It's very easy to grow on there comparatively.
Yeah. I haven't messed with the Shorts too much. I feel, because I know a lot of people just post their TikToks over to Shorts. I know there's a few people that I've talked to. I think Jordy2D, he sometimes makes videos specifically for YouTube Shorts, but I don't know if it's because like the majority of my videos, probably like 95% of them, are responding to TikTok comments. It's just kind of like a weird thing to throw on YouTube because it's so obviously a TikTok. You know what I mean? Like it's in your face. Like this is a TikTok. Just post it over. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just because like, because I've pretty much grown my channel off of long form content. You know, it's all like G Fuel reviews. I just posted my first vlog today and it's blowing up. So I'm excited about that because I actually had fun editing that, and I don't like editing. So it was fun finding music for it and like setting the mood and all that stuff.
Yeah, the interesting thing about YouTube Shorts is I feel like the community there understands that it's just a TikTok emulation platform, the same way that Instagram Reels is, or any other type of shorts form content that kind of emulates TikTok. And some people really don't like it. I noticed when I first started in February, it was like no matter what you would post on YouTube Shorts, it would just get dislike bombed because people didn't like the fact that YouTube was kind of leaning into this new space of TikTok type content because they were like, oh no, YouTube is for long form content. But that's arguable. I mean, there's tons of videos on YouTube that are under a minute, and now they just took a place for those videos and put them in their own section. And for creators, it's a huge step in the right direction for YouTube to become almost as discoverable as it was if you joined the platform, you know, back in 2008, you know, whenever there weren't a ton of videos on there. People are blowing up all of a sudden. And I can scroll through YouTube Shorts, and plenty of the times it's just TikToks that are taken from TikTok with the watermark and put on to YouTube Shorts. And sometimes they'll blow up all the same.
Yeah, I don't know. The big thing is the time that it takes for me to like download the TikTok, go post and all that stuff like that. Right now, it's just, I feel like I'd have to start a whole nother account to really like mass upload those because I don't want it to interfere with my long form stuff. Like I don't want people to be like, oh, it's just re-uploading his TikToks, you know, all of a sudden.
No, I get that.
Yeah, because I'm getting close to 150K, and I just got 100K like a month ago. So I feel like the long form stuff is doing well. I'm not even really promoting it as much on TikTok. All they've cared about is this vlog. They've been asking about it for like 6 months. So
what's the vlog about?
So 2 weeks ago, we went to Colorado for the first time. We went to Colorado Springs, and there's a lodge there. It's called Great Wolf Lodge, but there's a huge like indoor water park, like connected to it. So you stay at the lodge, and then you go to the water park. And so we just filmed us, you know, getting ready, going there, and then like all day at the water park, going and having In-N-Out burger for like the first time in 6 months because we moved from LA, stuff like that, you know. I got some cool GoPro footage. Got a GoPro just for it. And it's kind of like a test run too, because I always had the idea, and I think at the time that Sam was on, I was talking about taking a break. And one of the ways that I talked about doing that was going on like a long vacation, you know, and still making content out of it. So it's still, so for my mental health, it didn't feel like I was completely just, you know, screwing off, not doing anything. Cause like right now at this point, it just feels like if I'm not doing something, like it stresses me out. Like I don't know if it's just my work ethic or what, but I just can't let myself not do anything.
I'm in this exact same boat. Yeah, it's tough because I went on leave too, and was with family, and it was weird because I felt bad for like neglecting my YouTube and streaming stuff, but at the same time, I didn't want that to deter me from seeing family that I hadn't seen in like a year. So it was a really weird balance of like trying to be just a good fucking human being for a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and not being a self-centered asshole. So,
But we're going to Disney World in September. So I think I was talking about figuring out when I was going, but we got a week scheduled for September. And I mean, each day is going to be like its own 10-minute vlog video probably. Because I mean, every day we go to a different park. So it's gonna be wild. And I've never been to Disney World. I've been to Disneyland, and I was only there for like a day. Like we literally got up at like 3 a.m, drove there, park opened, we went. As soon as the park closed, we drive back home. So it's gonna be honestly like my first real long vacation ever in my life. I don't think I've ever gone on a vacation that was longer than a few days. So we're flying there, at the park for 5 days, and then flying back. So I'm excited.
Is it weird vlogging? Just being in public and making sure everything is recorded, all cool moments?
Yeah, it's very weird. Especially, I filmed more footage for another vlog for 4th of July because we went to Texas to visit my sister for a few days. And there was times where I was like, I don't really want to record this. Like, I feel like this is, like I should just let it be family time, seeing my sister and my brother-in-law and stuff. And so I'm curious to see how that one turns out because I feel like there's not as much substance to it, but I feel like people just like seeing like you do normal people stuff, I don't know. It's weird to describe. Like I don't know why they wanted, like it boggled me that they wanted to see that so bad, because to me it's like I even said it in like this vlog. I was like, this is the boring stuff you guys normally don't get to see. It's like, my wife putting my son in his car seat or something, and he's being goofy. But no, it's weird because I'll film this stuff for TikTok because it's, boom, boom, boom. There's like usually no sound or anything. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, I got to film the vlog. So then like, I'll film the same thing, but I'll say more and like show more and stuff like that. So whereas with like filming for a TikTok, it might be like a 5-second clip. It's like a 30-second clip for the vlog, So it's just like more added to those moments. And then there's stuff that, obviously doesn't make it into the TikToks because it just doesn't flow. But this first vlog is 3 parts. So, because I try to keep them.
The first part?
Yeah, and it's already doing. I did like the Sonic chili dog G Fuel flavor review, and that blew up. I think I was the first one to upload that, and that's at like 24,000 views right now, which is pretty good for my channel. My channel is pretty hit or miss. Like stuff either flops or it does decent, and this is already doubling the performance of that in like the first 2 hours. So we'll see. Hopefully, I just don't want it to become like a vlog channel. Like I think I'll only do vacations or something.
Yeah. Well, you've been pretty good at like doing a little bit of everything, honestly. Like when you look at your TikTok, it's like sometimes it's streaming related, sometimes it's like comedy, sometimes it's a lifestyle, sometimes it's like food review, G Fuel review. And the crazy thing about it is that they just all do well. Like I feel like you could do literally anything as long as it's kind of like within your brand identity, and it'll probably do well. So whatever you put out, I think people will eat it up.
Yeah, we'll see. I also wanted to talk about Twitch in general because I feel like everybody's been experiencing kind of like a downtrend on Twitch. I mean, not everybody, but for the most part, everybody I talked to is like, yeah, I don't know. I've talked about how maybe it's just we went from being in lockdown for a year to now you can. Like over here, you don't even have to wear a mask if you're not vaccinated. Like it's pretty much back to normal. So I think everybody's just running around, going on vacation, all that stuff. They're just not on their screens as much. But I was streaming 5 times a week for 5 or 6 hours, and now I stream whenever I want for like 2 hours at a time. Sometimes I'll do 2 streams in a day, but if there's a day where I miss now, it just doesn't stress me out. It just didn't make sense to put so much time into something that didn't equate to. I mean, I do this for a living. I don't like saying it like that, but I mean, if I make the same amount in like 2 or 3 hours that I do in 5 or 6, it really doesn't make sense to like stream for double the time,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing
Twitch
now.
is definitely. I think like as the summer. I don't know how long you guys have been. Well, Janky said since November. Danny, how long have you been streaming for?
I've been streaming for like 4.5 years, but I mean, the first 3 years, it was just 1-2 viewers, while I was in the military.
Okay.
No schedule, no consistency. Didn't know what I was doing.
I was going to say the summer, typically you see a little drop in viewership just because, like you said, everybody's out. And especially now with lockdown being over and people are vacationing, getting off the screens for the first time in like a year. So like typically viewership's down in the summer, and you can look at like every streamer. This isn't just like medium, large, small, like doesn't even matter. Like whatever size you are, everybody's taking, I'd say like a 40% hit or something. But I do think a lot of it's attributed to being the summer. But then also, who knows? Because I think people also had heavy inflation because of the past year.
Yeah.
And now it's like hitting them and they're like, wait a second, like maybe I'm not as popular as I thought. But you have to understand, like, that's still fine because Twitch is it's all comparative anyway. So it's like even XQC is at like 60K playing Rust for the first time in a while. Whereas if it was January, he'd be sitting at like 120K. So it's like he's still the big dog, right? Tommy Innit went on the other day. He was at 98K. Whereas in lockdown, he was pulling 250K per stream.
True,
Tommy Innit's not a bad streamer. It's just everybody is experiencing a full 40 to 50% drop off. And I do think like a lot of it is the summer, and we'll see how things go in the fall. But yeah, like I totally, I feel that. I've looked into that too, like across a lot of streamers. It's a big thing.
I mean, everybody, it's hard to not get worried or stressed about numbers basically like dipping to half of what they were. But for me, to me it signals it's time to like focus elsewhere for the time being. So I've really been attacking the YouTube. I think I was at like 30K when we talked last time, Sam. So I mean, like I've like fivefold, what I had. So I gonna keep doing that. And I mean, YouTube. The one thing that's crazy about that I never thought of, and I think when I was talking to Jordy 2D, he was like he never thought about that either. He doesn't have the creator fund in Canada, so he didn't even realize.
Oh, wow.
But
that's crazy.
You only get paid for the first 3 days of views on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a video pop off, which I've seen happen once or twice, like a couple months later, all of a sudden you have a video go from a couple 100K to all of a sudden like 2 million or something out of nowhere. Don't know why. You don't get paid for that, but on YouTube you do, and you see it happen all the time. You'll see a video from like 8 years ago, all of a sudden it's at like 2 million on YouTube. You're like, what the hell? And somebody's getting paid for that. So it's crazy if they're in the partner program. But
that's so crazy that is it only in the US that you could be in the creator fund?
Yeah,
for TikTok?
I think the creator fund is only it might be US and somewhere else, but I know it's not in Canada. And then like even the YouTube Shorts fund, they were talking about not being in Canada either. So I'm just like, dude, I don't know. But
what's the deal, by the way, with that?
It's just different laws.
But no. The YouTube Short Fund is it launched yet? I mean, like I heard they're reaching out to individual creators to like if you have well-performing shorts, they'll reach out to you separately, and then like they'll discuss something. Like it's very vague the way they're describing their fund. I mean, it's 100 million in size, so it's sizable. But I haven't heard anything beyond that.
I haven't heard anything either. Like I said, I haven't really focused on the YouTube Shorts, and at the same time, I look at it as almost like investing, like in stocks or something like that. Are you gonna completely shift focus to something to make like a short-term gain out of it, or are you gonna focus on what's always worked, which YouTube has been around for a long time and it's not going anywhere, and it's always been longer form content. That's where people go to learn and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing with that. Like I said, I'm just worried that the time that I would put into making a YouTube Shorts channel is going to take a long time for it to pop off, or like I just don't have the time right now to do that, because like I just started looking for a jiu-jitsu gym to start going to again. I want to start doing that, and then I got my first acting class this Saturday, so like, I'm trying to do all kinds of stuff. It's like it's hard to find time to do something like that. So
the YouTube Shorts stuff is interesting. It's so the way I think you're definitely on the right track with how you're looking at it, because I think YouTube Shorts is a really good avenue for a creator that doesn't have a following there yet. If you have nothing on YouTube whatsoever, if you're looking for like the fastest option to grow, then it's super good. But here's the other thing that comes around is that I noticed with my channel is that your numbers get really, really heavily inflated from well-performing YouTube Shorts, because people will subscribe and they'll like the videos and whatever, but they don't necessarily subscribe for you. They're subscribing for the one video that they saw on their YouTube Shorts page. And then a lot of the time I'll notice that they don't either tune into the full-length videos or tune into streams, which is totally cool. Like all my long-form content, because I post every other day, or at least I try to. And the videos don't perform nearly as well as the shorts do. And I think that's just an algorithm-based thing. But it's still like doing the YouTube Shorts thing. I have a well-performing YouTube channel, better than I've ever had before in the past. And so it's definitely an interesting combination of it being kind of worth it for growing, but then long-term sustainability for a YouTube Shorts channel is up in the air, because we were talking about monetization for a second. My YouTube Shorts do get monetized, but it's like $3 per million views or something like that.
Yeah, because you're only getting
Super
paid
bad.
you only get paid for the views where people actually go to your channel and watch them. Like if they're just watching them on the YouTube Shorts app side of it or whatever, it doesn't get anything.
Yeah, it's like stupid low.
And I mean, it's still in beta, right? YouTube Shorts. So
I don't know if it's officially left yet.
Yeah, who knows what they're gonna do with it? But
yeah,
I don't know.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, all you.
I was just gonna change topics.
Oh, I was saying, so it's literally TikTok. So you're saying like people subscribe, but they won't necessarily like watch your long form because they don't necessarily care about that, just the video they watched. Like that's literally what TikTok is. People will throw you a follow, but if you don't post the content they followed for, like they're scrolling right past it, 1 second watch time, right? So like it's very much I think now it's a place where if you have a niche kind of similar to like TikTok, you'll be fine. But like if you take the variety route, it is going to end up being more difficult, just like being variety on TikTok, because people found you for one reason. And if you don't continue putting that out, it's like, wait a second, I don't really care about this person anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, because with my YouTube channel, it's strictly variety. Like I used to do the GeoGuessr thing, and that was all cool and whatnot. And I was known as the GeoGuessr guy for YouTube Shorts for a little bit. And that image was something that I was okay with. But then at the end of the day, I thought about it and I was like, I could keep doing this thing. But for one, I don't really play GeoGuessr on stream. And I also don't really see myself wanting to do this kind of content a year from now. So I took with my channel a really direct right turn where I took I put all my effort into editing YouTube videos that were 10 to 20 minutes long, strictly variety stuff like playing Hangman with my Twitch chat, or doing Twitch karaoke, or You Laugh You Lose, or stream sound media share, and doing all of that. And then per video taking, trying my best to get like 5 at least TikTok/YouTube Shorts out of it. And then I have a combination now where I'll post a YouTube video that's full length, and then I'll post a YouTube short that has a segment from that video. And then in the comment section, that video is linked there. And then I'll do a community post with like a poll about it, and then a community post with like the thumbnail. So then it all goes out together at the same time. And that's kind of been my flow right now. And it hasn't worked as well as like the YouTube Shorts, especially with the GeoGuessr stuff, which is such a weird niche. I don't fully understand why it does as well as it does. But it's, for me as a creator, it's been more, I think, satisfying to like focus on the variety aspect of it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always looked at it as, early on, I could have just kept making what the people that followed wanted, specifically.
Yeah.
Or I could do what I wanted to do and talk about the things I wanted to talk about, or joke about the things I wanted to talk about, And over time, it's definitely a slower way to grow, but over time, it's almost like people can come find your stuff and realize that there's something for everybody, Maybe I know there's some people who just watch the podcast on my YouTube channel. There's some people who only watch G Fuel reviews, but then now I got people who might watch the vlog, and because of that, they might check out my other stuff. It's like, it starts to cross-contaminate. Yeah. And I mean, I've always looked at it as, how is this going to benefit me in like 5 years from now? Because I know they say like the the average career life expectancy in like the content creator industry, if you want to call it that, is about 5 years. And so I'm like, okay, how do I set myself up so that in 10 years, like I could still be doing whatever,
Right.
if I wanted to do it that long. But, and then, the other thing is you look at, I've been looking at people, because everybody's talking about Jake Paul, Logan Paul and stuff. And you're like, I hate those guys. Like, that's what they want, Like they've done a good job of making sure that you don't like them so that you'll pay to hope, to watch and hope that somebody will punch them in the face, and knock them out. So I'm not saying I want people to hate me or anything. I'm just saying, they obviously went out of their way to go above and beyond just making content. So for me, I've always wanted to do film and TV. So it's like, all right, what can I do? And it's like, well, I'm on camera all the time. And like a lot of my stuff is kind of acting because it's skits and stuff. So maybe I'll try that. So that's where I'm headed. I'm gonna try that. And this course that I signed up for is 6 months. So who knows? Wow. And then the other thing that's funny is the jiu-jitsu gym that I picked, because it's 10th Planet, which is what I trained at before. It's like Joe Rogan's buddy Eddie Bravo, his chain of schools. The head instructor at this gym is a stuntman over here in Albuquerque. So I'm just like, bro.
Oh, that's great.
It's just funny that like how like everything kind of connects, like I'll be able to talk to him about that and hopefully figure out how stuff works over here in Albuquerque, because it's so much different than LA, So yeah, I'm excited, man. It's
I knew you were a good actor the moment there was a video you posted on TikTok when somebody unfollowed you and you let out like this yell, this scream. I was like, that's really good. It's almost too good. I know. I was like, all right, because you had mentioned when we had talked that you were trying to get into acting and stuff, and you never really know if somebody could act until you see some of their performances, and that was like good emotion. Like I watched, I was like, Danny could act. That's not easy like genuinely convey that. I was like, that's really well done.
I've been trying.
Probably my favorite bit of you.
I made a bunch of those, and there's a few here and there that popped off where like I really tried. It's like I'm gonna be really dramatic. But like I just posted one this morning when my wife came in. Like I was like brushing my teeth, and she said, "Babe, if there was a fire, like if the apartment was on fire, would you save your family or the G Fuel?" And I'm like, "But my G Fuel ain't got legs, like I'm saving the G Fuel." And she's all pissed.
That's great.
But speaking of TikTok, I don't know what happened, but there was like a bug 2 days. Something caused the whole app to like crash 2 days ago, and it totally like yesterday views wise it was bad, and then I got banned on TikTok Live, and I was like, man, TikTok might be in a bad spot for a while for me, but today it seems to be doing a little better. But
yeah, I'm not sure what happened. The whole app was down. I noticed. My focus has been very like off of TikTok though. So I'm trying to get back into it, but honestly, what I'm waiting on right now is I want to get switch over from my Android phone back to iPhone because I prefer the camera quality, and I want to get back into doing like skits again. So that's kind of like what I've been banking on, as I'm just waiting for like my trade-in period to come in, so I can trade this shitty Samsung in and get an iPhone again, and then start doing like I don't know if you guys know. I know Sam does, like how Josh Morris, his videos are like super funny. If we're talking about like good TikTok actors, that dude he's
hilarious.
Like,
yeah,
I know. He'll legit like cry in like half of his videos now with this new trend he's been doing. And I'm kind of wanting to get into that realm of TikTok of like comedy based skits again. And that's kind of where my focus is right now with TikTok.
Josh is great. Yeah, he's had a pivot too, like from the suit stuff to now the crying stuff. Like he's definitely good at TikTok, and he's
mastered it.
He's cashed in a lot too. He's got like really good sponsorships, good connections. Like he did TikTok right. He did a very good job, fairly quickly too. He's probably gained 3 mil in like 6-7 months.
Yeah,
something wild, something insane like that.
I've been meaning to reach out to him. It'd be interesting to talk to him about his journey, because I know he said he's been on a lot longer than most people. So
yeah, he streams too. He streams, and he has a YouTube channel where he's doing kind of like a podcast with his brother, I think. So I think he'd definitely be a good candidate to have on. It's interesting how his content has developed, because In the same way that like Sam and I kind of wrote out the GeoGuessr trend, he did his suit trend with like the face is what he calls it. And now what he's done, he's kind of turned that into a meme itself that like people only want to watch him for making that silly face.
Yeah.
And so now he's made it into an own trend of making fun of that trend has become the trend now. So he's solidified that trend as being dead, as he's kind of the guy who did it in the first place. It's a very interesting and smart way he went about kind of killing a trend that he didn't want to do anymore. It was fun to watch it unfold with his audience.
Yeah, I mean, because I get what he was saying, because he talked about how he was thinking about maybe trying to steer away from it, when we did Jeopardy. Which Sam, I have a lot of fun doing those, by the way.
Yeah,
the Jeopardy.
You guys gotta get on for a win. I
honestly don't want to. I don't want to win. I feel like I like being like the losing team because every time we come on and everyone's so happy for us to get the win, and then
they're always rooting. The thing is, you guys are so good at it, and then at the end, just what happens, man?
I told you, man. You just gotta do like half of the questions like movie and TV, and I'll just kill it, bro.
Yeah. Well, so I have a new format at the end that I think will favor you guys. There's basically 5 Final Jeopardy questions, and for each question, you could allocate points to it. So if you don't feel comfortable with the category, you don't have to put all your points towards it. So if you had known, like, I think now, like, you would have probably won the last 2, knowing that what the 5 categories were rather than like the 1.
Okay.
I'm confident about that. You guys got scammed last time for sure.
If there's a movie question, we put all our points on it.
Yeah, we gotta come back on. When's the next one? We gotta schedule it. I'm down.
So I'm probably gonna actually be doing one next week. I'm working on having a sponsor for it. Actually, funnily enough.
Oh wow,
nice, dude.
It's kind of like I'm like early stage, but just like for all types of content, and then like the final thing they want to be included on is like one of the segments on stream. So I figured it'd be like the biggest one, which is my Jeopardy's always. So if you guys are available, it's probably going to be next week. So I can message you like the exact details and stuff. But I mean, assuming you want to get on, that's all you.
Yeah, I can make it work. Now. I'll cancel a Twitch stream. I don't care.
Yeah. My only thing is work starting back up, but we'd have to see. Give me a date and I'll try to secure it.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm fairly flexible between like 2 days. So, I mean, whatever one works for Janky and Danny, I'm always down to get you guys on.
Yeah, we're definitely win this time. We'll definitely.
Yeah.
Danny, have you ever thought of like hosting anything on stream?
Nah, it's just not my type of thing.
Okay.
Like when I stream,
you do a lot of variety stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of more into just like chilling and playing something I want to. Like I've been playing Valorant. I'm trying to get out of bronze. I've been in bronze like the whole time I played the game for like a year. So I'm like, all right, it's time to finally like get better at this game. So I've been focusing on that. Road to Silver is what I call it, I kind of shifted straight from Warzone to Fortnite when Warzone started to just kind of decline as far as like if you're not a big streamer, it's really hard to grow an audience playing Warzone right now. Like it seems like all people care about is big streamers when it comes to that now. Warzone's just not really what it used to be a year ago. But yeah, I mean, if I do a late night stream, I usually play like Tarkov or Dead by Daylight or something kind of more intense, Yeah. So I'm kind of all over the place.
I don't usually ever play video games. It's weird. Like the most recent video game I played on stream last night, we played Power Wash Simulator. It's just a game where you
might have to try
clean shit with the power washer, and it was one of the most fun streams I've had in a while because it's just silly. It's just weird.
So, is there like a goal to it though, or
get shit clean? That's it. That's all you do. Is
do you upgrade your equipment or anything?
Yeah, it's very realistic. Like,
okay, I gotta try this.
There's a career mode, and you go in and you start off by cleaning off your truck, which is the simple power washer. But then after that, you unlock like new gigs, and you go in and you can buy a new power washer, new nozzles, soap, and you make all these connections with people. It's satisfying, but some of the missions have so many things to clean, it gets a little bit overwhelming. Like you wouldn't think about it, but power washing an entire house takes like an hour and a half in this game.
Holy
it's
crap!
Crazy. Yeah.
Dude, How,
So
how
that's
do
a
you?
good that's like a good background just chatting game because it's like a satisfying visual, and I'm assuming like it's not intense gameplay, so you're able to sort of bounce back and forth easily between chat and thoughts and playing.
Yeah, it
Honestly
was.
that's like a good game to stream.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very. It was just chill because we did like a late night Halo stream a while ago because I just don't ever play games. So my audience was like, "Oh wow, Jakey can actually play games." They were playing Power Wash, and yeah, it was just easy to just sit back and chill with chat without having to. Because with me, what I end up falling into is because I'm a variety guy. I feel like I'm always trying to include chat as much as possible, whether it's through media share or like doing some sort of giveaway or buying stuff on Amazon or gifting subs or whatever. So I like streams where I can just like not really have to put much brain power into it every once in a while because it feels like I'm always like running a million miles an hour. I'm sure Sam feels the same way because we're kind of in the same group of streamers where variety and always doing stuff that's kind of outside the box with chat integration.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how does it do viewership wise? The power, like, is it pretty comparative to the other streams? With the power
Yeah,
wash
but I
and other?
was streaming at a different time than normal. I was watching a soccer game, and so a lot of the times on soccer nights I'll stream later because of the time. But uh, it did as well as like an average, like a below average performing, like super intense, like tons of stuff happening variety stream that would
Okay.
normally take place.
Yeah, because I've thought about doing. There's that. There's all these scary games. Have you seen those? Where like you get chased by Michael Jackson or like Ronald McDonald, stuff like that. It's
No,
like Slender
I
Man, but with those guys. Yeah.
that sounds super. Just I wouldn't be interested in that because that's.
I would tune in for that. I would watch you play that.
Yeah.
I
So
definitely watch you play it.
yeah, I like. I think I'll try things here and there, but I feel like with games like that, you can't make it something you do regularly because it's such a small niche game. You know,
Yeah.
it has to be like a special thing. So yeah, I definitely need to branch out and try different things though, because I'm playing like the same 4 games, and then I'm waiting on a new PC to show up in a few weeks because I can't even play Apex, even
Oh, wow.
Warzone. Like I don't know if it's just because they're with the updates and then they're like trying to phase out older graphics cards because I still have a 1080 Ti. But I get dropped frames in Apex when I stream, and same thing with Warzone. Like loading in and stuff, it'll be really choppy. So ready for that new PC. I got a 3080 coming. So
There you go.
Ooh.
These things are hard to get.
yeah, I got a pre-built. It seemed like it was the most cost-effective way to go right now. And then my brother is trying to get a hold of a 3080. So if I can get my hands on a 3080 Ti, so like having that titanium at the end, you know.
Yeah.
I'll probably he'll buy the 3080 off of me, and then I'll have the 3080 Ti. But who knows? The graphics card market is so weird right now. So
Yeah, it really has been like people just buying them up and then selling them for like twice the value. It's
it's
I
crypto,
haven't even
man.
tried to get a hold of one.
They shut down a bunch of crypto farms, like 27 of them or something like that, like in China, and so a bunch of graphics cards went on the market, and so it's kind of caused the supply, increased as far as secondhand cards go. So I don't know, it's weird because the price is starting to go down and they're starting to come back in stock, but they're still not MSRP where where they should be. You're still paying like an extra 200, 250 for a card, so it's weird. And I'm not in a rush if I got a 3080 coming. But have you guys gotten into crypto at all?
No. I did stocks for a little bit a while ago because I was working on a project for work where they basically had me go in for 24-hour shifts like every 2 days. And so then I would do that and I would just like I had nothing to do, so I just liked looking at the graphs and trading money. And then like I lost like $1,000 and I was like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore.
I feel like everybody when they first mess with stocks, like, oh, I know what I'm doing, and they lose like $1,000 or something, and they're like, maybe I should.
I joined one of those exclusive like penny stock trading groups from like a 14-year-old that runs it, and he's like,
oh man,
I know everything about stocks, and I'm like, this guy knows everything about stocks, and then he'll be like, I'm buying 1,400 of $CBT, and I'm like, okay, we're all buying CBT, and then he's like, he'll post it like 5 minutes after he buys it, and everyone will buy CBT, and then he'll sell right at the top, and then we all lose money. And it's like, yep, that makes sense. That seems like how he makes his money.
Yeah. So there was two things I want to talk about with crypto, because I guess I'll start with this. I've gotten super into crypto in like the last couple of weeks, because I've been looking at the stock market. I had quite a bit of money invested in American Airlines. I bought when it was at like $11 a share, and I mean it was at like $58 peak, before COVID. And so the idea was like, in a year or so, hopefully it'll be back up and I'll like triple my money. But what's happening is nobody wants to go back to work. They had to cancel like 5,000 flights like a week ago or something like that, because they just don't have enough like flight attendants or pilots, nothing. Everybody like retired early, or like they're banking unemployment, and they're like, why am I gonna go like flip burgers? I mean, the only places fast food wise, I mean, I don't eat a lot of fast food right now, but I just noticed, during COVID, and I was like, hopefully that'll go back to normal. Nothing was open after like 9 o'clock. Like Jack in the Box and Del Taco 24/7 type places were open, but McDonald's is supposed to be a 24-hour place, and they close at 9. And everybody's got now hiring and stuff like that on everything, so nobody wants to go back to work.
Yeah, the only place I was able to get when I was on leave out in Texas was Wendy's. It was the only place that was open for 24 hours. And they weren't even open for 24 hours. They were closing at like 1. And I feel like they're supposed to be like a 24-hour place too. So that is an interesting thing. They're just businesses. Yeah. Things are like slowly coming back to normal, and I'm honestly all for it. I like it. I think that it's fun to get back into it. Mm-hmm. Is it like time? I don't know, but honestly, we've all been in for like a year, so I think reasonably everybody's like, let's get out of here.
Bro, nobody knows what the hell's going on right now with anything.
No.
I mean, it's never happened. We've never been at this point, civilization and technology wise, with a pandemic. When the Spanish flu happened, you found out like your cousin died from it like 2 weeks later. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just not what it is now. It's weird. But I mean, I don't mean like I only cared about the fast food. I was just saying like that's where I noticed it, and then I realized I was like, nobody's able to get workers right now. Like nobody wants to go back to work. I know there's like a handful of states. I think it's mostly Republican states, because they're all about business and stuff. But they're actually like threatening to end like unemployment benefits early to get people to go back to work, because I think they're supposed to end in September. And they're like, we're gonna cut it off early because we need people to go back to work. Like we can't go back to normal if nobody's able to go work, So, but anyways, the stock market doesn't look like it's gonna recover for at least another 6 months. So I moved everything to Ethereum, making on Ethereum.
Yeah, I have a buddy that did Ethereum too. He was all up into Ethereum, and he's made a good amount of money off of it. This guy I'm talking about was back when I was doing the 24-hour shift, and that was like 6 months ago, and he had put a lot of money into it then. He sold recently, and he said he made a good amount of money, like $3,000 or $4,000. I was like, hell yeah, bro. It was good.
Were you gonna say something?
I'm in a couple of altcoins. So like Ethereum, I had touched for probably a couple months, and then I was out of Ethereum. But now I'm in basically like my portfolio allocation is heavily within altcoins, because I just think they're more exciting. I'd rather like take the risk and stuff, but it's probably coins like nobody's even heard of, like really small market caps, like bottom of the barrel, like 200 to 300 ranked
shit coins. They call them
literally shit coins. Yeah, like there's probably like I'd say like 10 people are in the coins total. Like nobody's in these coins, but I'm just hoping that. Well, I'm not hoping this. It's not like I have like my life savings in it, but my logic is that one of the 5 coins that I'm like dispersed within to will just have 100% increase over the year, and that will be enough to offset any potential losses. So I have just like a very volatile portfolio, but the idea is that just hopefully one of them booms.
Yeah,
but it's funny watching, because the numbers it's so ridiculous. Just seeing how like I'll check my portfolio, I'm like, that can't be right. The app's got to be broken.
They just pump and dump, man. That's all they do with those coins.
Yeah. I know. You see what happened recently, like with the coin for some of the phase guys.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that
coin.
too. That was the other thing. People have been asking what I think about that, and I'm just like, dude, the 3 guys that got suspended, I think those guys should kick too. It's messed up.
Yeah.
What exactly happened? I was out of the loop on that.
Sam might know more in detail. Like, I kind of skimmed through it,
Yeah,
but
basically what happened is some phase members, I think it was phase K, phase Jarvis, and I think Summer Rae was in Rice Gum, but the big guys were phase K and phase Jarvis. They basically were marketing an altcoin. It was called the Save the Kids coin. So it's very much marketed as, hey, if you buy in and as this goes up, like profits, whatever, it's all benefiting kids. So it's very much like a charity coin. And they were like on all their socials promoting it. Hey,
Pump
like
it
if
up.
you get in now, we'll give you like we'll double your amount that you have. And then somebody did some investigation on the back end because the wallets are public, and they saw that these people, upon receiving their share of the coins, like immediately sold it. In other words, like they never believed in this coin. They always thought it was shit. They just wanted to pump it up, but they didn't want any part. So basically they like marketed it to everybody, got it to go up like a classic pump and dump, but they were never in it to begin with. Like they never believed in the asset that they were promoting. And like they basically robbed people in a lot of ways because like none of the profits then went to the Save the Kids stuff. They just like completely made a fool of themselves. So now they're not only are they being sort of like publicly ostracized, but now people almost want them to be like legally tried in some ways.
It's gonna
for
happen.
Manipulating coins. It's just like that market is kind of unregulated, so there is no proper way to go about those lawsuits, but they definitely are in like some deep shit right now.
I feel like it can kind of be bended as like an insider trading thing, And I mean, they go after you for like big money. So
isn't that what happened with like the Valorant? No, it was CS:GO skins. Isn't that what happened back in the day? The same exact thing.
There was some like
Wait, what?
it was like a CS:GO slot website, and people were promoting it, but it was a big streamer who actually like owned stake in it, and so
T Martin.
It might have been, but it was literally like rigged. So like he's winning all this stuff, and he's like, dude, this is like I'm making money. Like I'll never gonna have to pay for a video game again. Like it's all Steam credit or whatever. And all these people put their money into it and just lose it all. Thinking that they're gonna get all this Steam credit out of it, and so it was a big lawsuit, stuff like that.
The co-owner or whatever of it,
and he got kicked out of like a big, I think it was like a big gaming entertainment company. I can't remember what it was.
A bunch of stuff happened because it was just an ad, but it would have been fine if he would have like all he had to say at the beginning was, hey, I have an affiliation with this website, I own this, etc. But he didn't say that, so he would roll the thing and he would get like 3 gold, $500 skins, and you're like, oh, holy crap, this is crazy, this website is incredible. And then he turns the recording off, and then he's profiting all this money by promoting his own website as this thing that he just so happened to find online. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the slots thing on Twitch. I don't know if you guys have been following any of that. I'm surprised it doesn't get talked about more. I think the hot tub meta and the ASMR meta kind of took over the drama.
Lots. What is this?
Slots.
Heavy slot drama.
So I mean, you see XQC, Aiden Ross, the Trainwreck crew, all of them playing slots. And I mean, they're playing with big money. They'll put in like 100K and they'll just sit there for like 8 hours playing slots. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm making so much money, or they're losing a bunch of money, I sat there while I was editing one time, watch XQC do it for 4 hours. It's entertaining. I mean, you're watching somebody mess with real money. It's all crypto, so that's how they get around doing it in the US, is because it's crypto, it's not US dollars. So it's in a gray area. So I'm curious to see if they like come out with some law saying that even crypto, you can't do that in the US. But I mean, even then, XQC just moved back to Canada because of all the swatting stuff. He said, I don't know if you guys saw that. He said he was getting swatted like every day. He just wasn't talking about it.
Wow.
Yeah, and his dad too, or something, like was getting swatted. So, yeah. But
that's something I'm worried about too. Swatting. I live on a military base though, so it's like kind of a little bit harder for people to do shit like that. But yeah, that's a scary reality.
I've had the discussion with my wife. There's somebody who's been like threatening to dox me recently, some kid. And I mean, there's not much you can do about it. I live in a gated community, so it's and once we buy a house, I plan on buying one in a gated community too. So not anybody can just stroll up, but you know, if somebody swats me, I've already reported stuff to the local police department and stuff. So if somebody tries to swat me, it gets generated as a police report saying, hey, this guy's a streamer, he's had threats, this and that. You know, they threatened to swat him. And so hopefully that's the difference between a SWAT team showing up and like a couple officers knocking on the door saying, hey, you know, we know you're a streamer and this and that. So is everything all right? Can you look around? You know, so hopefully that works out. But I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, man. It's just bound to happen if you continue to grow. And that's just shitters, man. Like,
well,
it's really
down on it. Isn't it punishable up to like 10 years in prison now if you dox / lead to a swatting? Yeah,
the thing is, though, I feel like people who do that stuff go they're smart enough to go through the trouble to make sure they can't be traced. And so like you can report it to the authorities, it might get forwarded to the FBI, but if it's, you know, it happens so much to streamers and stuff that it's like, is it really worth the FBI's money to go find some 20-year-old kid sitting in his basement going, hey, I'm gonna swat this guy, you know? Like, is it really worth it to them? Taxpayer dollars.
I think it really depends on the severity of the situation. Like, I feel like if somebody were to get killed in the process, then that would be like really where they start looking into it. But if it's just like a procedural like type, like, you know, people come check in the door or whatever.
I mean, like I've told my wife, like, you know, you just cooperate, don't say anything, don't argue. You know, you just say like, my husband's upstairs streaming, you know, and then they come in and it's like, all right, you know, then we talk. They look around. It's the end of it. The only time people have died is when they you know, acted delirious or like they were drunk or didn't know what was going on, and you know, it's just, you know, act calm, don't make sudden movements, you know, stuff like that. It's like getting pulled over.
Yeah, 5 gifted subs and I'll act like a fucking idiot right now.
Yeah, but
have you done like a drunk stream before, Danny?
No, I'm not a big drinker, to be honest. Like, Janky knows, in the military, it's just like all anybody does with their free time is get shit-faced. So once I got out, I was just kind of over it. It's not worth it to me. Like the side effects of it, like the next day, you know, being hungover and stuff like that, it's just not worth it to me, man. There's such a wrench in the gears, productivity-wise, you know? Yeah, it's not worth it.
I'll drink on stream, like, a lot of the time we'll do it like during You Laugh You Lose, because the videos, like the meme is that the videos are so bad that the only way they'll get me to laugh is if I'm drunk. So we'll do that. But that's like the only time, like because I try not to become like an alcoholic. So on my off time, it's pretty much the only time I ever like drink more than a couple beers in like a session is like during special streams like that. But no, yeah, in the military, it's definitely a problem. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah. And this is for educational purposes, YouTube, but they decriminalized marijuana here in New Mexico, and I believe it becomes recreational April of next year. Like, they're giving them like a year to come up with work policies and stuff like that, you know, so it's not just a complete shit show. But I mean, once it's legal, honestly, I'll probably do that instead of drinking, because I feel like it helps creative wise to do that, you know? Like, that's just it's kind of useful. It's a useful substance, but
yeah, you do your research. It's a healthier alternative to nicotine. I mean, if we're even going to that length, it's
I don't care about that. I like the creativity aspect of it. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I hear all these like big movie directors and writers and stuff like that, and they're all getting high. That's how they come up with these crazy ideas.
That makes sense.
Apple was invented.
Yeah.
So that's how humans evolved from monkeys. Stoned ape theory. You know about that?
Yeah. The stoned ape theory. I was gonna say
it's probably more for psilocybin or some mushrooms they picked up.
Yeah, mushrooms, they say. Yeah. I was gonna say I think it was who just came out and said something. I think it was who's the dude I'm a movie guy, shouldn't be stumbling on this right now, but guy made Avatar.
Cameron.
Oh.
What?
James
Cameron. Dude, he said that he was high on LSD when he came up with the idea for the Terminator.
Yeah,
sense.
I believe that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I was like,
Avatar as well, right? That would make sense too.
That's crazy, dude.
And he made the Titanic too, right?
Maybe he needs to start doing it again, because his movies have sucked lately. But
well, you know, he's like a deep sea diver too. He has like the record for the deepest solo dive in the Mariana Trench, which is ridiculous that a director has that.
That's what I find interesting about like these really crazy like over the top successful people is there's so much more going on behind the scenes, you know, than just doing that one thing that they're famous for. You know, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah,
Like-
I mean, they have so much. Any creative person like that has to put their energy somewhere. So like, they'll just do whatever they want, and like
Yeah.
something as crazy as diving, whatever 6,000. Is it 6,000 miles? Is that how deep? It's a lot.
6,000
like-
miles. I don't.
No, that might be. No, I think it is. It's something crazy.
That's
Don't
insane,
quote me. It
bro.
might be 6,000.
That
How
seems
deep
ridiculous.
is it to the crust
don't
of the
know.
Earth?
Do we
Or whatever
know?
that is, that layer.
Do we know how thick the Earth is, like from surface to surface?
At least 2 C's. Like THICC, thick.
Oh, thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that one didn't land.
It's a thick boy.
It's 6,000 meters, maybe. Does that sound better?
That sounds a lot, yeah. Because
Yeah.
6,000 isn't that like the Earth, like the circumference of the Earth, isn't like 7,000 miles?
I mean, so
No,
from,
but I'm talking
No,
down.
it's-
like
it's
when
possible.
you go from ocean all
Yeah,
the way
it's-
down to as deep as you can.
it's
oh, no,
def-
I was way off. 24,000 miles is the
'Cause-
circumference of the Earth.
how far is it from one side of the U.S. to the other? So I want to say it's like
3,000-ish,
3,000ish.
3,500.
Yeah. So I mean, it's two.
Oh, it's feet. I overthrew. It's feet. It's 6,000 feet. My bad. To the bottom of the Mariana.
The
Trench.
miles was like,
yeah. I was like miles, dude. I was like,
crazy.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's
You
like,
like-
to the moon, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, right. That's gonna be crazy.
Even then, the moon might be less than that.
dude.
Good having Google nearby. Distance to the moon. Oh, whoa, bro! The moon is 225 miles away. That's not right.
Dude,
Bro, that's far.
See,
You could
put
see
this
it.
in
It's right
jeopardy.
there.
Put this in jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm learning here. You guys, not
I
yet. This is a freebie for you guys. This will be the final Jeopardy question.
I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know how much you guys watch movies and TV, but I got a TV show recommendation.
What you got?
Great.
So it's on Apple TV Plus. You gotta keep
Okay,
that in
I'm
mind.
looking
Me
into
already.
that.
I
looking
know you're
into
gonna
that.
say, dude, that streaming service is being slept on. Like if you buy a new iPhone, you get like a year free, or something like that. And you
Yeah,
can give
I've
and you
taken
can give it
advantage
to
of it.
you can give it to like 3 friends. Yeah, something like
What's
that
the,
too.
what's the show?
For All Mankind.
For all mankind.
What's
So-
like the premise?
So it starts out, okay, and it's the moon landing, right? Everybody's like at the bars watching the TV. It's that famous moment, Neil Armstrong, he comes down from the lander, says his little spiel, but when the astronaut comes down from the lander, he walks up to the camera and starts speaking Russian. So the Russians made it to the moon first in this universe, and so it's just like,
Ah.
what if the space race continued beyond what it did? And it gets crazy, man. Like to the point where it's like, all right, we're bringing guns to the moon. Like it gets gnarly, bro. And like they're
Wow.
like trying to shoot guns on the moon, and it's just
And
like throwing them.
gravity's
Yeah, it's just crazy, bro. Like the
Really?
I
Is
honestly
it a comedy?
no, it's a straight up drama. But the thing that blows my mind is like nobody's. I thought about making a YouTube video about it, saying, is this the most underrated show on television? Because there's big actors in it. And the other thing that blew my mind is I've always been fascinated by like space movies and shows. Like they're fun to watch, the intense moments and stuff, like Gravity, Apollo 13. There's been a couple shows that came out. There was a Hulu one where they go to Mars, and then there was a Netflix one with Hilary Swank, I think, where they were going to Mars, and they both got canceled after one season. Like they just can't nail. They can't nail the balance between going to space and how people, like their families and friends and them, are affected by, we're going to space and like I might not come back, and just all the stuff going on, the drama going on Earth because of it. This show is like a perfect 50-50 balance. Like they nailed it. And you care about every single character. Somebody will get introduced and you'll be like, oh god, this guy's annoying. Like I don't care about him. And they make you care about this person. Somehow they make you care about this character. And so every time something happens to these characters, you're like, bruh. It's just, it's an amazing show. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Did it get renewed?
I think they're supposed to come out with the 3rd season soon.
There you
Oh,
go.
third season. So
Yeah.
it's already pretty deep in.
Yeah,
It's got
and
2.
I mean, every spoiler alert, every season is like a different decade.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So like it started out with like the 60s to the 70s, and then the second season was like the 80s, and like the people who did the missions in the first season are like higher ups now, and like the 3rd season, it looks like they're going to Mars. So it's
Nice.
Wow.
it's a badass show, man. It's definitely got its like cliche little points here, but they're very like few and far between. Like for the most part, it is. Like I said, I think it's one of the best shows I've watched. I've been watching that, and then my wife and I are kind of disappointed that show Yellowstone. That one's on Paramount Plus. There's so many streaming services now, but
yeah, you got them all. You got the bundle.
That's like the cowboy mafia. Like it's just like Kevin Costner running his ranch, and everybody wants his land and money and all this stuff, and people are murking people left and right. You know, that's a good show. But that's like going on its fourth season. That got delayed from this month to November.
Oh,
so
wow.
We're like, oh man, yeah, but that's a really good show.
There's an Apple Play, or what is the streaming service called? Apple Plus?
Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, so there was a show coming out on there. I don't know if it got canceled or whatever, but it was like a Game of Thrones looking show, but everyone is blind. Was like the whole thing for it. Yeah. It was like Game of Thrones and everyone's blind, but then one little girl is born and she can see, and so all the blind people in this tribe are like, oh shit, like she's the one. And so it's them, and it's like they're their own group, and then there's another group of like more civilized people that are trying to like take the blind people's land, and they're like, fuck no, you're not taking our land. And it's like kind of like, imagine that with Game of Thrones type fighting. And
Yeah.
I think that there's some sort of like superpower element to it. I saw that. It looked really interesting on that platform, but I don't know what happened to it.
Dude, I think it's crazy right now how, I mean, if you think about it, film and TV has been a thing for so long now. And at the same time, it's not. It's like, what, been 100 years since like the first like silent films were made or something? But the fact that people are still able to come up with new concepts blows my mind. You know,
that is
crazy.
Wild. Think about 100 years of content, and like how many movies have been made? Tens of millions of movies, probably, or content over the past 100 years. And there's still new ideas. So
much of it never gets watched. You know what I mean? If you think about it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Same thing with music too. Like I'm starting like my season 2 of streaming, and I was looking for new music from like, and a lot of the time I like to pull from video games. There are so many soundtracks from different video games you can pull from that are so incredible. Like one of the highlights that I found, and it's just weird shit, like for my stream, is the Super Mario Strikers game. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I love Strikers.
The Mario soccer game. It's the paused music from that game. Such a banger. Like it's just an elevator style music loop that's kind of like muted in a way, and it's just such a vibe.
Just hits different.
Yeah, it was just so good, and it's just shit like that. Like I would have never found that if I didn't spend like, it was like 4 a.m, and I was just like bored. I was like, let's just find some shit, and I found the Mario Strikers pause music. I was like, this is a vibe.
That's a great fun.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys watch Joe Rogan at all?
No.
I mean, I feel like
I do here and there.
I feel like less people watch him now because he moved to Spotify. But I pay attention to the YouTube clips because that'll kind of tell you who's been on. You know, they'll post a couple highlights. He had Quentin Tarantino on a week ago, and I watched a lot of people I watched a lot of other podcasts where people talked about how they're like, that just confirmed that I don't like Quentin Tarantino. He's a dick. But to me, it was fascinating because, like I said, I'm super into the movie TV side of stuff, you know. So listening to him talk about how he writes a script, I was like, dude, that's how my brain works. It like blew my mind. So that was really cool to listen to.
He was on the Howard Stern show, I remember, a while ago, and that did not end well for Mr. Tarantino, I remember.
He just doesn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He literally doesn't. Like, because there was the whole Bruce Lee drama. Where have you guys seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
If you haven't, I recommend it. So there was a whole controversy between Bruce Lee acting like a dick in that, but he talked about it in the podcast, and he was like talking about how he had no respect for American stuntmen and how he would like purposely, they call it tagging, where you actually hit somebody during a stunt. He would do it all the time. He would like purposely hurt people.
Wow.
And also there was like a TV show, I guess, that he claimed the idea was stolen from him, and his wife like wrote a book about him and said that it was stolen. And the guy, it's been like 40 years now, the guy who originally came up with this concept and it got turned into a show that he, Bruce Lee claimed stole his idea, has like all the stuff to back up that he came up with it first. And so it's like Tarantino has a reason to not like Bruce Lee. It sounds like he was kind of like an arrogant guy, but it was really interesting to listen to that too, because like I didn't know anything about Bruce Lee. But he basically was like, because I guess the daughter, Bruce Lee's daughter, was really upset about the way he was portrayed in the movie. He was like, "Well, I understand. That's her dad, but everybody else can suck a dick." I was like, "Bro."
Yeah, it sounds like something he'd say. Yeah, that is his personality, absolutely.
Dude, there's a video, and I got the backstory from it, so it made more sense to me. Because when I saw this video, I was like, "What the hell?" There's a video of him in Colorado, walking out of a Starbucks, and this guy comes up and is like, "Yo, Quentin Tarantino, this and that," like like just being like a paparazzi, and Tarantino's just like, "Get away from me, bro," and he's pissed off, obviously, and he's like, "You want to start something? Like, go ahead, hit me." And then he's like, "You hit first," and he's like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it." Like it's just hilarious, dude. You got to see it with his like he's like drinking his before. Starbucks. Yeah, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
But the backstory. Dude, he's
my
just
favorite director for sure.
Yeah, he's my favorite too. He's just a different character, man. It's crazy. The backstory to that, I found out one of the pilots I worked with in the Coast Guard. He was living in Colorado at the time when they filmed The Hateful Eight, and apparently they were like a month and a half, or I might be exaggerating. It was like they were like a month behind schedule because it was supposed to snow and it didn't. Like they were waiting on snow to film this movie. And so they're behind schedule, and it's costing money because they have all these people living in hotels. They got all this equipment they moved out there, and they're just doing nothing with it. That equipment could be used for other stuff for the studio. So just burning money, waiting for the snow, and they finally they decided to do what they call like a ski burn, or like they like burn their old skis to like appease the snow gods, to try and get it to snow. And Samuel L. Jackson threw in the first pair. And the next day there was a blizzard.
That's awesome.
And so
that's badass.
This video is taken like a day or two after it finally snowed. And so like he ain't got time to mess around. Like he's trying to play catch up. He's a month behind schedule. And so this guy just gets in his face, and you see his reaction. It's it just makes him look like a dick. But I mean,
he's just like, "Fuck off, dude. I'm busy."
If I was him, I wouldn't be in a good mood.
No.
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, no. He wrote his first book. It's a novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it goes into so much more detail with all the characters. And so I'm excited to read that because I'm curious to see the way he writes, because I'm sure he writes like that when he writes scripts, So yeah.
His just like revisionist history, his absurdity, like all that stuff is just so novel and cool, and like the fact like he has a set 10 films. So when I went to NYU, and so it's like really big film there, and I was minoring in film production, and this is my freshman year, and like an entire class, like you had to pick somebody to study, and like for the entire year I was studying Quentin Tarantino, like all of his movies, writing papers on him left and right, and like the most fascinating guy. I mean, you're telling a couple of these stories now. There's like thousands of those. Like he's like the most fascinating guy on the planet. And he just so happens to make movies too. And it's so cool that he's in the spotlight because you get to hear all these other things and witness like truly greatness. I think like one of the greatest artistic minds of the past like 100 years for real.
And he's only going to make one more movie.
Let me let my dog out. Hold on.
Really? Is that it? He's making one more?
Yeah, he says he's making one more, and that's it.
Wow.
And Joe Rogan asked him, he was like, "Why won't you make more than that? Like, you sure there's not going to be an idea or a project that comes up and you're just like, I have to make it?" He's like, "No." He's like, I want to do plays, I want to write books, stuff like that. But he said the idea for him is like, he doesn't want to be like Steven Spielberg, where like everybody talks about how, he used to make great movies. He wants to leave people wanting more and, feel like he left on a high note.
That makes sense.
And I mean, you got to think, even though it's going to be his 10th movie, he's been making movies for 30 years. It takes about 3 years to make a movie, start to finish.
Yeah.
Sometimes more,
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
You going to make a movie? If like acting, you're going to pivot from it and make a movie at any point?
I've dabbled in script writing. I definitely have some ideas, and to me, it's kind of like I almost don't want to say anything because it scripts. All it takes is one person to hear one thing, and they take that idea and turn it into something else. And now it's hard to make a project because somebody's already done something similar, you know. But I will say that I am fascinated with like the content creator life and how people get into like these controversial things. And so it's like one of my ideas is like what would happen if like a Tim the Tap Man got accused of like murder or something, you know? Like to me that's like a crazy idea.
That is wild.
I had a super, I'm totally cool with saying this because I don't think I'll ever make it, but I had this really cool idea for like, I think it would make more sense as a short film, but it has to do with streaming, live stream fails, and then it's also like a murder mystery type thing.
It's bound to happen. Somebody's gonna make something like that. Yeah.
It's like, I think it would be awesome if there was basically the story is there's a streamer who's like struggling. He's now doing a super good job. And so he comes up with this idea of like, okay, what if I have like the most viral moment of streaming ever? And his idea is like, well, what if live on stream I react to like the passing of a loved one, like whether it's like a spouse or like some crazy tragic event happens, and I have it happen on stream, like in like a crazy like sad reaction, and like the streamer like goes crazy or whatever, and then it ends the stream, people clip it and put it on live stream fails. And so what ends up happening later in the short film is that when he comes back like a couple weeks later, he seems he's all good, but it's, like there's weird shit that ends up happening and weird shit that's wrong with his story. I think it'd make the most sense in the context that it's like a spouse dies, like his wife or husband dies. And what ends up coming towards the end is that like, oh shit, he's the person that killed his spouse to get this moment that was all staged and shit. And like the viewers have a big part in like dissecting that he was the person responsible for it. And I think it would be kind of like like I don't know if it turned out to be cringy, but I think it would be kind of cool to watch. Like
it's all about
like
execution.
I'd watch it on Netflix or something.
Yeah, I think it would be cool.
You know that kind of happened. So you hear about the guy who faked his own death? He's a streamer.
Yeah.
It was like kind of. I mean, like there was nobody. Similar. He didn't kill anybody, but
is it a crime to fake your own death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that confidently. I have no idea. I don't know.
I think that there's something. Yeah, I know which guy you're talking about. It was, I can't remember what community. It was GTA roleplay. That's what it was.
He wanted to leave the GTA RP community.
Yeah.
So he faked his own death.
He was dead for like a few months, and then he messaged some dude on Discord, and then he was like, "Hey, bro, it's me." And then he was like, "What the fuck? You're dead."
It's me, lol.
Dude,
you're dead.
Like, what are you lolling for? Everyone, there's like a memorial for you.
But then they're like, "Well, that might be like a fake Discord name. It might actually not be him." So they hired a private investigator and actually found him in person in Florida, and confirmed he was alive. And he did all of this to literally leave a GTA RP server because he didn't want to, like, I don't know, just exit with bad terms. He quit streaming for the month and stuff. I mean, he had like a sizable audience too. I don't know the guy's name, but it happened pretty recently.
It reminds me of the story of the guy. I don't know if you guys, this was from a while ago, but it was a dude that pretended to be paralyzed in a wheelchair, and he streamed for years in this wheelchair.
Oh, I saw that.
Streaming. Yeah, and he would leave in the wheelchair, but then one time he forgot to change his scene to like his ending scene, and he just fucking gets up and just walks off the screen.
Yeah.
And people are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like,
he just like gets up, hilarious. Scratches his ass, and like walks towards the door.
Yeah.
You're like, bro,
what are you?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Is that illegal? Can you act handicap?
I don't think it's illegal unless you're like obviously like committing fraud, like you're collecting disability or something.
Yeah.
Well, you guys would know this, and I'm always interested because I feel like I've heard a lot of this. But like, if you have fake like military equipment on you and stuff, like fake valor, right? Is that
stolen
illegal?
valor? I'm pretty sure there's.
It's contextual. Like if you're claiming to, you can go to a military surplus store and wear military gear. It just comes because like you can wear that shit for like paintball or airsoft or whatever.
Right.
But it's when you're claiming to be in the military for personal gain. I think is when it becomes a problem.
But not only that, people will straight up just take uniforms and use somebody else's name. So that's impersonating somebody. That's impersonating a government official technically. So I think a government employee, whatever. So that is chargeable, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean,
that by far to me is the cringiest thing on earth when somebody does. Like, I really can't think of anything else that is that cringy.
The only other, I do find it's kind of entertaining. Have you seen the, what do they call them? Damn it. Can't think of the name.
You talking about airsoft bros?
No, it's when people get pulled over and they'll be like, oh, well, is it a crime to travel or whatever, you know, like they'll come up with some bullshit excuse and then they're like, why am I being detained? Why am I being tased? You know, but it's
the
like,
lawyer Andy,
yeah,
that is,
they'll
cringe.
like hold up a paper and like won't say anything and like, you have to roll down the window and he's like, no, I don't, you know, and like the cop, I watched one where the guy's like, he's like, well, if I'm not being detained, you know, I'm free to go. And he's like, I'm fixing to tase you. And then he breaks his window and tases him. Like
my favorite, I do love that shit when it's only in the context is because you've been into California. Have you ever passed through like the plant fucking inspection little place where they're like, you got any plants in your car?
Yeah.
I love when they fuck with those dudes because those guys already hate their jobs and don't want to be there. So they just pull up because have you ever been through California, Sam?
I've never been.
So when you enter California, you have to pass through, and at least during the time I was here, when you're going from Nevada, from Vegas into California, you have to pass through an inspection center before you can even enter the state. And it's weird because sometimes there's not even anyone there, and it's just like you stop for a second, there's no one there, and you keep driving. But when there are people there, a lot of those kind of like freedom fighters or whatever they call themselves will pull up, and because it's not a legal stop, and these guys are like, you're not like, it's a weird gray area of who they work for. They're like, no, I'm not talking to you.
They work
like,
they work for the Department of Agriculture, so it's like they don't have any like legal authority.
So yeah, people will pull up and they'll be like, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing my plants.
They're literally like, do you have any like agricultural, you know, do you have any plants, anything like that? And you're just like, nope. I'm like, all right. You just keep going.
When I PCS so my wife loves plants. Like she's got all sorts of succulents and sunflowers and these. So when we were PCSing, when I graduated from school to become a combat photographer, I drove from Maryland all the way to California. And so we had all of our stuff in our cars, and including that was a big thing of plants, and it was sitting in my passenger seat. And so I got to the inspection point, and like you could see it sitting right next to me. And she asked me like, "Do you have any plants?" And I was just, yeah, there's like a fucking like giant barrel of plants right here. And she's like, "Okay, we'll go ahead, pull over. We gotta take a look at these."
Oh
like,
man.
Okay.
Dude, what is? I don't get the logic. Is it to stop like marijuana being?
No, I believe the reason behind it is they're trying to protect the agriculture in California from like invasive insects and stuff. So like they want to make sure you're not bringing up plants that have bugs on them. That's what I heard.
Yes.
Are they the only state that does that? I've never heard of that on the East Coast.
I think there's other states, but it's I don't know. It's for some reason California just takes it way more seriously than other states. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, all she did was she just looked at my plants and like tagged it and was like, okay, we're good to go. And then we took off. It's very weird. And sometimes they're not even there. Like there's like we went through when we were driving from the airport from Vegas back to Irwin, we drove through and there was not a single employee there. And it's like so weird that they have an inspection checkpoint with nobody working. It's very creepy and sort of weird when you pass through. It feels like you're breaking a law.
Yeah. Or like even the border patrol, like sometimes they'll just like keep going, like they don't even stop you.
Yeah, it's very strange.
They're not getting paid enough. They don't care.
I've seen it a handful of times though, where like somebody just blows through it and then they chase them and a bunch of people like pile out of a van or something. I've seen it. I've literally seen it. Yeah. It's crazy. It's usually coming from like San Diego, like border area to California, you know. But I've seen it, and it's like, bro, it's crazy. Like it's like a clown car. You just see like 20 people come out of one vehicle.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I loved Narcos because they had a scene where they were like transporting people over borders and stuff, and it was crazy how they would store people. Like they did the most creative shit And I was like, you know what? If you're willing to like hang out in like the slot above like a van between like the padding of like the top of the and then the metal, and you're willing to lay there for like 18 hours,
Bro.
welcome to America, homie. Like
Dude.
you fucking earned it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's at any lengths, I guess, right? Whatever
Yeah.
it takes.
What state are you in again, Sam?
New Jersey.
New Jersey, that's right. I've so because I've been looking into the acting stuff, like I've been looking into joining, you know, like the actors union and stuff like that and what the different like laws are. And so I didn't know that it was a thing where, and it's like 50-50, like half of the states. I know California and New York for sure are union states, but there's states where they're called right to work states. I didn't know that. And so like, so for actors, they have non-union union sets, right? And so if you join the union and it's like a one-time fee of like $3,000 or something, and then you're in the union from now on. Once you join the union, you can't work on non-union sets. And there's a lot of stuff that you'd be surprised. You're like, oh, that's a non-union set? Like, it's a pretty big movie. But you're supposed to join after you work on so many union sets. And like I think if you're in a union state, after the second role that you book, you have like 30 days to join the union or something. But in right to work states, you're never forced to join. So that was interesting to me. I should have looked into New Mexico, because if you don't have to join the union, that's pretty dope, because then you're still open to like other projects, smaller projects.
When you join the union, is it like a permanent thing, or is it like you have to renew?
No, it's a permanent thing, one-time fee, initiation fee. And like I said, it's $3,000. So I believe the reason why they do that is because it's like somebody who just drops everything and they got enough money to get to California. They just can't like come in and join the union. And there's ways to become eligible too. So it's weird. But I mean, I looked into, because I've been told by people in the industry that like, if you get verified on TikTok, that's going to open doors because you have such a big following. Like there's people who will talk to you that normally wouldn't, you know?
They should honestly, like, casting should be looking for influencers that want to act more than celebrity, because nowadays the followings are like either one for one, or usually the content creator has more of at least of a loyal following. So like including these guys in your movies, even if you get like
a small
30% worse acting, it's like the trade-off of the people you're going to bring is incredible.
Yeah.
Like why, like for example, you see like music videos, like everybody's outsourcing like Valkyrie and like popular creators, and these videos are getting like hundreds of millions of views because people are watching it for that content creator. They don't care about the song, but people are still going to the song because somebody they like is in it. I mean, like traditional celebrities are now being outpaced by internet celebrities.
Yeah,
and that's going to catch up in casting soon too.
Yeah, it's interesting because TikTok seems to have shut off verification. Like they're just not verifying people unless you're already a celebrity right now. So I don't know if it's like Twitter where like they're gonna open it up in like 6 months or something. But I've been denied twice talking to them, and they were like, "It's confidential. We can't tell you why you can't be verified."
You have like, you have the most followers that I know that isn't verified on TikTok. I can't think. I don't know if you know anybody else, but it always blows my mind when I look at your page. I'm like, wait, what?
They verified people left and right for a while, and I think now they're trying not to. And
yeah, with YouTube, it's like a bit easy to get verified. Like you just got to hit 100K, and then you're good to go. Like it's so easy.
So there's a couple ways to get verified, though. You can, I think it's like 4 articles. If 4 articles written about you, and I got one written about me when I proposed to my wife on stream. But if you can have 4 articles that cite you, you know, then that'll get you verified. And then another thing is 10 acting, like IMDb credits. So either one of those, if I can get them, I'll get verified on everything. But because I'm verified.
But why do you need to be in traditional press to be verified?
I don't know, man. It's a bullshit rule. I mean, literally, all I would have, if you think about it, all I'd have to do is like land one decent commercial or something like that, and all of a sudden a couple articles probably be written, and then I'm good to go. But
it's wild, like you'd get verified based on that and not your millions of followers on your socials. It's like, no, we need to see that you acted in a commercial before we can verify that you are in fact Danny Dorito.
It's weird.
I also find it's funny how they're like, it's a secret. They're like, no.
And like,
what's the secret?
The big thing though, the big thing is once I start acting, I guess that means my real name's coming out, you know? Like everybody's gonna know my real name.
Ooh. That'll
Yeah,
be
it's
an
gonna be
exciting
tough.
week for you.
What if you do like a stage name, like not a
I don't think
alias?
I want to be like credited as Danny DeVito. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah,
What about like
awesome.
a mononym?
I think it would be funny to be like, you know, where it says like as Danny DeVito and then like it's almost like a character. That'd be kind of interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Well,
I
Danny
don't know.
DeVito kind of is a character, huh? Like the sarcasm of like the G Fuel and
Oh, bro,
you
and
know,
it's funny how many people think I'm like serious.
yeah, it kind of is a character. Like it's a mixture of you, but it's just like a super like ironic and like dramatic version
Yeah,
of like your own personality.
Yeah, did you guys see the one where I was making out with the G Fuel?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
I think actually this morning I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah. So
That
like,
acting, man, it's good. He's got some good skits.
We'll see, man. To me, it's I don't know. I was just always raised, you know, if you're gonna do something, don't half-ass it. And so
Yeah.
just gonna give it my
Yeah.
all. See what happens. Sky's the limit.
That's good.
How close would you say you guys are, like your like internet personality to your day-to-day personality? Do you think it's just like a toned down version of yourself, or do you think it's like exactly like if somebody were to meet you, it would be like one for one?
You know, that's weird to answer because it's. I mean, I've had a lot of interactions with followers, and it's just like, hey, what's up? You know, and they're like, you're that guy from TikTok. It's like, yeah, you know, this and that, and you know, sometimes they want to get a picture. Like, I'll throw them in a TikTok, you know, or they wave or something. But I mean, because when I was at the water park, we were filming that one where my wife, the joke was, you know, you can't bring all your G Fuel on the trip.
Yeah.
And so like, it just said, you know, when your wife says you can't bring all your G Fuel on vacation. And so like you see my son like having a blast, and then it turns over, and it turns, you know, the camera pans, and all of a sudden I'm just laying on the ground, and the water's just beating me in the face. You know, and while I was filming that, this old lady came up and was like, "My grandson says was wondering if you're that TikTok guy. He's a little nervous to come over and say hi." And so like this kid came over, and I was like, "It's so funny." But
Sam, last time we talked, remember I asked you about that. Have you had any new interactions with people with the new GeoGuessr trend?
No, I don't go outside. That's
Okay, well that's a problem. Yeah.
Well, when I do go out, it's usually at like the past 4 times I'd say I've gone out, they've been like to bars for friends' birthday celebrations, and the people who go to bars I don't think are watching my content, and if they do, they're not going to come up to me, you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, it'd be weird.
I haven't been in a situation where it would have happened, I'd say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, as for the question of I think my personality on stream is very, very similar, but the type of like comedy bits I do and some of the stuff that I talk about on stream is kind of a heightened version of like, it's not stuff that I would talk about in just a chill friend setting. Like there's bits and comedy stuff that I would do that's just too out there. It would just be like way too hyped up for like a real like life scenario. But I say it's pretty similar. And I think Sam, your personality on stream is pretty much exactly the same as whenever I've talked to you personally.
Yeah, because I don't know, like I don't want to set an expectation. It's like very exhausting, I feel, to put on like a character or to be like 150% of yourself. So if I do that, I feel like it sets a precedent or an expectation that whenever you see me in all forms of content, long or short, it will be that. So like I didn't want to do that. And if that means sacrificing sort of like the short term, maybe like heavy personality that I could put out, like I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. I think it hits the right market for people too, because I've seen in your comments a few times people have said like they, one, really like your personality, or they, two, really like how chill the videos are. Because like in a complete like 180 from like the way mine were, is like I would do the GeoGuessr thing and then I would get the thing right and I'd be like, let's go, and like fucking scream. And so that would either make people like hyped up and love it, or people would fucking hate it. And so it was like definitely two contrasts. I think you've definitely found that like crowd that prefers like the chill vibe, which I think you bring a lot.
I mean, dude, don't get it twisted. I feel like a lot of people hate me. I definitely have like a lot of people who dislike, even people.
Yeah.
Who,
Same here, dude.
Interesting.
I think it just comes with the territory.
In your free time, just have a peruse through specifically YouTube comments. Go to one of my YouTube shorts on your free time and just go through, and you'll have some popcorn with you. You'll be like, wow.
Well, I had to stop looking. had to stop looking at
It's
mine.
really bad. It's bad. I don't care. I think it's healthy to be controversial. I always want to be controversial, but like it's entertaining. It really is.
I mean, I've always had the mindset, if you're not pissing somebody off, you're not doing something right, you know?
Yeah.
So
the way that I've said it recently, and that I've kind of come to terms with it, it was a while ago, is that as a content creator, you take on the responsibility almost with this quote unquote profession, is being an outlet where you got to be okay with people taking out their own insecurities and own self hatred's probably a little bit of a harsh word to use, but just their own dislikes of themselves and their own insecurities, and then portraying that and letting it out on you, whether it be through stream or comments. But you are their outlet, and in a way it's also healthy there too. Now when they say shit like I'm gonna kill you, or
the extreme,
you know, like that stuff's like, obviously that's really bad. But for people that just like look at you and then say like, oh, I'm way better than this person because I don't like them, then like they walk out of there feeling better watching your video. So at least there's that element.
And they left a comment.
And they watched it. And I when I was doing the GeoGuessr thing, I would get comments on my videos. They'd make me laugh. And if you don't know, on YouTube, you can click on a profile picture and you can see how many times people have commented on your videos and like what they've done. And so my favorite one is, why do I keep getting recommended this guy's videos? And so I'm like, okay, let's break this down. So I go to my comment. I'm like, oh, you've left 14 comments. So the reason why is because YouTube sees you watching the video all the way through, leaving a comment on it, leaving, watching another one, and doing it again. The YouTube algorithm doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about what you're watching.
Content. He secretly likes the content.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, if you didn't want to watch it, then just scroll.
Yeah,
hate watching's a real thing.
For real, yeah.
Like actually, yeah.
I was gonna say I've seen some of that on TikTok. Like somebody commented and was like, "Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I have put not interested on like the last 20 videos you've posted, and you're still showing up on my For You page." And I was like, well, you could just block me. And he's like, oh, that's true. You seem all right. I won't do it. And I'm like,
it's weird, man.
But that's got to feel good, by the way. You're like stronger than the algorithm. He'll keep, it's like, no, we don't want you, Dorito. Like, TikTok's like, take it.
Yeah, there's definitely times where like stuff pops off. It ebbs and flows, you know? And so like it's funny how all of a sudden something that normally is just silly and kind of stupid, like it was kind of like a throwaway TikTok, like, I needed to post one more time and I'm not really in the mood, you know? When like something stupid and ridiculous like that will pop off because everything else is, and people are like, why the hell is this on, like, why does this have so many likes and views? Like, this is stupid. I'm just like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I've noticed it a lot too, because I've been taking pieces from my YouTube videos and reformatting them for TikTok and just doing it in a really lazy way. Like I'll downscale it and then have like a layer there that's just the YouTube video, and then upscale it to where it's like filling in the vertical frame and then is blurred out and a little bit darkened. It's just easier to do. And so I do that, and then sometimes I'll just pull like a 10-second clip of me just getting rickrolled. Like that was one thing that happened recently, was that there was like a rickroll clip and I got rickrolled and I was like, haha, lol. And then I posted it and it's like 500,000 views. I'm like, okay, that's fucking weird that that's what you decided to promote today, but sure. And so people were commenting on being like, wow, like this is the quality of like dude, I post one a day. Like they're not all going to be fucking bangers. So
dude, one of my first videos that went viral was somebody was like, hey, you can fix this if you do Alt F4, and like I just was like, oh, and I did it like not thinking, and I was just like,
damn it,
and everybody all the comments was like, bro, are you call yourself a gamer, and like you got Alt F4, like come on.
Those are warranted comments though. I would leave one too. I'd be like, really?
Come on, man.
Yeah. But
it's just you can't choose what video is gonna go viral. You can post one a day. You just will never know like what's gonna be the one.
It's interesting even on TikTok, because I'll find some videos will have like 30% like to view ratio. It will have the shares you want. It'll have the comments you want, and it won't do nearly as well as a video that has like maybe half of those metrics. I'm like, wait, why is this video getting pushed and then this one isn't? But I think what it has to do though is like some back end stuff like watch time, like maybe like certain types of shares. It can't be that arbitrary. There has to be something to it.
And there's definitely little gimmicks you could do in here or there, but I always advise people like don't abuse it because then people just get pissed off and then they're not gonna want to watch your stuff. Like, one time somebody posted when the new Xbox had come out, like how fast it booted up from like sleep mode. It was like instantly playing the game, and I was like, oh yeah, well check out my multi-$1,000 PC, and it took like 40 seconds to like start
I remember
up.
that video.
I literally like turned off the power supply so it was a cold start, just made it long as hell, and it popped off because people watched the whole damn thing, wait for it to turn on. There's things you could do like that, or somebody came in and said reply to this comment for no reason, and so I just sit there for like 20 seconds like
and
it goes viral, and I'm just like, I literally did nothing.
But
you can't abuse that.
Weird.
Right, yeah,
yeah.
I stopped going live now on TikTok too. I just don't go live because I get paranoid that if I go live, it affects my performance. And so now I just like steer away from it completely, which honestly probably hurts a little bit because I used to do it when I go live on Twitch. But I feel like the trade-off of ensuring that everything's fine on TikTok for a couple of average viewers on Twitch, like I'm okay with that. But yeah, I go live very sparingly, maybe once every 2 weeks now.
I just get banned when I go live on Twitch.
I just got banned yesterday.
Minutes. Yeah, I can't be on there because I swear too much. And if I said like penis the other day on a TikTok stream, like that's unacceptable.
Dude,
and then I can go to your For You page, there's like a half naked girl. I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
And she's probably underage too. It's like crazy that they leave that stuff there.
I'm like, yeah, that's.
I had a post taken down for bullying, and it was myself. It was me.
Yeah, dude.
I had the exact same thing happen with a video with my wife, and they said she was bullying me. I was like, "We're
it's me. We're married."
My son called me a poo-poo head, and it got taken down for bullying.
No
he
way.
bullied me.
You got banned for a poopy
He
head
called
comment?
me poo-poo head, and it got taken down for bullying.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. You should take away his hamburgers for a little while.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
Were you guys watching the? Because when my wife got banned,
you're controversial, bro. By the way.
When I threw the cheeseburgers.
Yeah. The people saying you were wasting the dollar McDouble. That was really messed up, man.
I love it.
Sure.
That's good though. All that's healthy.
I milked it.
Like that's good stuff.
And like people are like, why are you so mad? I'm like, dude, I'm doing it on purpose. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, I want to act like I'm heated about it because it gets people to like hate comment, and it just makes it do better.
Yeah.
I like trying to get all.
Your brother kept getting banned.
Oh, dude, he got demonetized.
He good now?
Wow. Yeah, no, he's good now, but I mean, he was popping off, and the smaller you are, the easier it is to get you spam reported. So it's just like,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's Cool
crazy.
Ranch, right? Cool Ranch.
Yeah,
Chris?
Cool Ranch Chris. Yeah, we do our own little. We do Cool Ranch Corner, which is. He was like, we should do a podcast and just talk about whatever. So like, we'll literally like we sat there for like half an hour. It's my buddy Genie Boy. He works in the film industry over in LA, and he's super into film and TV. So we'll literally like every week we'll just talk about film and TV and stuff too. But what was I gonna say? Like we'll sit there and spend half an hour talking about like shitting your pants and stuff like that. Like really ridiculous stuff.
I see some of the clips recommended to me on YouTube.
That's good. It's getting recommended. Me and my brother, we're brothers. We argue about stupid shit all the time. Like we argued about, we were talking about G Fuel flavors, and I compared Shiny Splash and Hype Sauce because they're both lemonades, and I was like, Shiny Splash is like a blueberry version of Hype Sauce instead of raspberry, and he said something about blue raspberries, and I was like, no, they're different, and then it was a stupid argument about raspberries and blueberries. But it did well. I got like 5K views or something.
Yeah,
it's natural content when you have disagreements with the brother.
Yeah,
it's
like
natural content.
We were arguing about Teslas the other day because he was saying, there's a because I always thought the Roadster was going to be a cool car, and he's like, well, this one's just as fast, and it just came out, it's the plaid version of this, and it's like $100,000 cheaper, and I was like, but it's not the Roadster, bro, and so we're just arguing about that, stupid stuff like that.
Yeah,
right.
I got to get y'all on for a Twitch Jeopardy, you and your brother, and I don't know who would fill the third slot, but we do. Or no, sorry, did I say Twitch Jeopardy? Twitch Feud. It's basically just a Family Feud version, or sorry, Twitch version of Family Feud.
Okay,
I think y'all would
like
be
actual
a good little
family.
duo. Yeah, actual Family Feud.
I'm gonna be honest. I know nothing about game shows. Like I never watched them, so like I'll have to like see how Family Feud works.
Steve Harvey? Like Steve Harvey host.
I've seen the clips and stuff where he's like,
Yeah.
you know, but
you could say the most vanilla thing. He's
yeah.
like, you said that.
Yeah.
You could say like he'll be like, name a planet. You'll be like, Earth. He's like, no way, you just said that. It's like, dude, it's like a good answer. What are you saying?
There's a Family Feud clip of they said name a planet, and it was Family Feud Canada, and the first person said the sun, and then they're all like, no, that's not it. And so that was Fast Money. So he said the sun, and then he said the moon. And then they were like, okay, cool. And so then the brother comes out for the next, because how Fast Money works is one person goes and the next person goes, and they go name a planet. And the guy fucking goes, the sun. And
oh
they're
my
like,
God,
no.
he said the same answer?
Yeah, and then they're like, no. And then they give him another chance. He's like, the moon. And they're like, motherfucker.
Dude, I mean,
like,
that had to have been planned.
You're on. I don't know, man, because you'd be surprised when people are under pressure. They'll make stupid decisions. They'll panic, you know?
Yeah.
They're on TV.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's crazy. They both said it.
That's the thing is like, being an actor, I'm going to have to audition for stuff. And to me, I was the type of person where, and it's crazy to think about now, I would get called up to like do, a school project and my heart would just be racing, and I'm like stuttering and like, I don't know. I wonder how it'd be now, now that I've gotten comfortable on camera and being myself, I think, I feel like a big important mindset as a content creator, streamer, whatever. You gotta have to stop caring what people think about you, because you're not gonna please everybody. There's always gonna be people who shit on you, don't like you, but
Yeah. It's a hard thing to get over. Like whenever I started doing the YouTube Shorts thing, YouTube Shorts is impressively toxic. Like it's at another level a lot of the time. And since I switched gears and started doing more variety stuff, that's been seen more as like original content. It's been a lot better. But then in turn, the content doesn't perform as well because it's not as like trendy. And so
that's the trade-off.
Yeah, it really is. And like I'm sure, Sam, you were saying like the hate comments, those GeoGuessr ones, man, people hate that shit. Like there's like a good amount of people that like put energy into just hating it. It's bizarre.
It like, whoa,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's there's some heated comments I used to get.
I don't know what it is. I guess the YouTube demographic versus TikTok, because TikTok, like, and as we all know, like it could definitely be toxic, but there's something about the YouTube comments where there's like more emotion, and I think it's because, like, this is for Shorts specifically, they're already mad that there's like being TikToks repurposed, and now they're picking up a TikTok algorithm. So it's like this extra sort of resentment, not only to the content, but the fact that you're here. Like, this is our ground, this is our playground. Like, you are super annoying that you're here doing this now on our platform.
Yeah, the part that gets me though is you have to go to YouTube Shorts to watch YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, you clicked on.
Why are they on it? Like, it's so bizarre to me. Like, do you guys just actively participate in things you don't like? Like, is that like
they do? They hate watch, which is cool.
I'm gonna go fucking stub my toe at the wall for hours later. That's actually after this. I'm gonna go hit my fucking head against a wall because I don't like doing that, and it just brings me no joy. But I do it anyways.
Yeah, you're recorded. That's content.
Yeah, right.
I think it's
weird.
I think it's an age thing. I think TikTok is just a much younger audience, and so YouTube is older people, and so they kind of see like this young generation coming over and like contaminating their platform for sure. I definitely think that's what it is. I mean, you look at all the shorts and all these cringy like TikToks and like I feel like everybody's seen the cringy gym ones. You seen those? Yeah,
I haven't.
It's just it's super staged and dumb, and it's super cringy and like not good cringy. Like, there's definitely a good cringy, this is not it.
Yeah.
And you look at the comments and it's always the same quotes. It's, something about YouTube turning into like a TikTok shit pile and stuff like that. So
it's not at all. Like, it's its own corner. Like, YouTube isn't integrating it into it's very hard to get recommended a YouTube short, like in your inbox or whatever, like in your recommended page. You have to go looking for it. So when I find people saying like, oh, like YouTube Shorts is so bad, it's like another part of the website. Like, it's a specific part you're going to engage in content you're not going to like.
It's
stop watching it.
It cracks me up sometimes though, because YouTube is much more clickbaity, and so the fact that you can do that, like the title's important I feel like it's way more important title wise for Shorts, obviously, than TikToks. So they're always clickbait, and it'll be like like I saw one yesterday. It's like chick lands like an insane skate trick or whatever, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? I click on it, and she just shakes her ass so she rides by, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
awesome. That's awesome.
And then,
you click and you watch though.
And the algorithm is super broken on there, because like I watched one video where this guy demonstrated like a tactical reload on an airsoft gun, and then all the videos were gun related, like all of them. And I'm just like, bro, like
I don't even watch YouTube Shorts. I don't watch TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Weirdly enough, I don't find either of them entertaining.
That's the thing too, is like I always know what to expect, because I'm like, all right, it's either gonna be like gun related or like a gym cringe one, or like, you know, some clickbait thing where a chick ends up shaking her ass. That's what it is every time now.
The weird thing
it
about
just feeds me the same
Shorts
stuff.
is I scroll. I don't know if you've had this happen to you, Sam, but I'll scroll and I'll find my own videos. It's super weird. Like I get recommended my own videos.
Not once have I actually used the YouTube short thing, so I don't even know. Like,
is there an app?
I see it. No, it's like the second tab on the YouTube.
Right.
app.
That's how I watch it. But I didn't know if there's that. They got to come out.
But
with
I've never
app.
clicked on it.
I don't think it'll ever be what TikTok is without it becoming its own thing.
Yeah, they have its own. It has its own logo and everything. I don't know if they would make it its own app, but
do they release like numbers on how like user whatever like interaction with the shorts versus TikTok? Are there public numbers on that?
I
because
doubt
people
it.
are getting views on shorts which are similar to TikTok views.
Yeah.
So yes, I get that.
Comparable.
I disagree though, because you got to think about how big YouTube is.
Yeah.
So it's only hitting like 1/10 of the audience of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Are they okay with that? Are they looking
no,
to get it 100% of their audience?
The only way they beat TikTok is if they outperform them. So they have to do something to get more people to watch.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's ever going to beat TikTok at the end of the day. That's the interesting thing about
I don't know.
Shorts.
I don't know. If anybody's going to do it, it's
right
YouTube.
now, TikTok is like the GOAT, like for like the most users.
TikTok is now trying to become YouTube.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they were introducing like those 3-minute long videos,
and they're rolling it out more and more. And I've seen where somebody at TikTok has said that their general idea is that at some point they're going to have two communities on TikTok: the people that watch the long form content, the people that watch the really short stuff. And then there's going to be like, you know, you'll get in between type stuff.
So they want to be YouTube.
Yeah, TikTok wants to be YouTube, and YouTube wants to be TikTok.
They should combine.
It's
imagine that.
Imagine if YouTube bought TikTok.
It's
I don't know.
Not out of the possibility.
I think
they would need to like
TikTok would pay better.
The actual TikTok website would need to really like reformat. They were also looking at doing, because now you can stream to TikTok live from like OBS.
Yeah,
it's like
I would never do it.
It's interesting. People like stream on TikTok live as if it were Twitch. Essentially,
I've come across it, and it like hurts my eyes because everything's so much smaller. You gotta like squint to see everything. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't like it.
But what they did though is on the TikTok website, someone found like the beta, and I think it's only in certain things, but you can go there onto the TikTok website and you can watch some streams in like full resolution. So if you're watching from the TikTok website, you can see it in full 1920 by 1080.
Yeah.
So it's something that they're also looking at is trying to compete with Twitch. So TikTok's just going to become like the mega mind corporation over everything, it seems like.
So something that would be a game changer in my opinion, and you can already do it on the desktop, but I never go on the desktop version of TikTok, is being able to schedule your TikToks to post. If they bring that over to the app, that will change my life, because my sleep schedule is the worst thing about this. Like I sometimes I get 4 hours of sleep, sometimes I get 10. Like, it's really all over the place. There's no consistent sleep schedule. But if I didn't have to wake up, because I post one at 10:30 every day. If I had a late night and I already had TikToks made, I wouldn't have to wake up to post. Like, it would literally post, and I could get better sleep. Because instead, I'm like waking up to do that, and it totally ruins, like, you know, you don't get as much good sleep after that once you wake up and do something. You record all your
stuff in the app, right? So that's what makes that kind of a problem.
I would say 75% of it is in the app. So I'll anticipate comments sometimes. I'd be like, all right, so I got this G Fuel. I know somebody's going to say, try that flavor, you know? So then I'll go ahead and film it. And the camera quality is way better if you film outside the app, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
It goes from 4K, you know, down to 1080p and sometimes when you film on the app, the lighting for some reason makes it blurry. And like you'll even see like a viral TikTok where there's like one like weird movement where they move with light and it gets all choppy and blurry for a split second. You're like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I feel like, and I sometimes I do notice that the ones that are filmed outside the app do better. I think it's just, it looks better, you know? When I got my
reason why I'm wanting to get an iPhone again is so I can start doing TikToks from my phone again, because I don't like the quality of my camera, so I just don't like doing them.
I was using like the iPhone 10s or something like that, and my wife finally convinced me. She's like, get a better phone, like, you know, because now you can record 1080p 60 fps from the front camera stuff, you know, so it's even better. And so she convinced me, and I got the 12 Pro Max with like the better stabilization, like better zoom, all this stuff, and it's been a game changer. I mean, the first TikTok I made, everybody was like, "What? Are you filming on like a Sony or something?" I was like, "No, it's just a new iPhone."
Yeah.
We were like at Costco and everything was in 4K.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm trying to get the 12 Pro Max too, because I feel like that's a really good like content creation type of camera phone.
Yeah.
And just Samsungs they just don't cut it. They don't look right.
They're getting better.
For mobile.
They're getting better.
Yeah.
But
it just doesn't match. Like, it's not even like sometimes the Samsungs can look better. They just don't look right. It's a weird camera thing.
yeah, and one thing that I found interesting about resolution is even if you take like a 1080p TV, but you use like a 4K Blu-ray player, pop in a 4K movie, it still downscales better than it would if you were watching 1080p. It still looks better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's the same way with TikTok. If you film in 4K and it downscales, it's still going to look better than a 1080p video. So it's interesting. Because I'll see some like you could tell somebody used like a $10,000 camera to film something, and you're like, you could notice. Like, it looks like a goddamn movie.
Downscaling is the way to go. That's how I used to do it. I would film in 4K, and then I would
Yeah. Here, one second. I gotta post TikTok.
There you go. Yeah. See, it's time.
Wait, how many a day do you post? 5? Janky, what's your schedule right now for uploading?
I just do one. But my TikTok's kind of in a weird limbo state right now. I haven't really been worried about it, but I'm looking to get into posting legitimate, like, not just stream highlights. Like, I want to do like maybe not even doing one a day on there, but maybe making my TikTok more of like a personal, like, because I love doing like comedy skits. I used to do that way back in the day. Like when I first started streaming, I had this series about like a Discord mod who would apply for jobs, and it would be like the most ridiculous shit ever. Like he would end up getting all the jobs. He ended up becoming like the chief of police because like everybody respected this neckbeard Discord mod. And I did one where I fucking drank out of my bidet, and like the bit was that I was a bidet owner. Like people that buy a bidet are so obsessed with them and don't stop talking about them, I noticed. So
like vegans,
yeah, exactly. It was like this guy who's like, oh, I just got this bidet, and then he's like interviewing for like a whole thing. He's like, hey, my name's Jeremy. I got my new bidet like a week ago, and then he's like, oh, but I use it for everything, like washing my dishes. And it cuts to him like holding a plate and it just going like, like the water hitting it and getting everywhere. And then he's like, I use it for showering, and I'm like fucking shirt off, like clean it off with soap, brushing my teeth, and I fucking had the toothbrush in there. And I used to do skits like that like months ago, and it was like some of the most fun I had on the app, and the videos would actually perform pretty well. So, and I see TikTok as a way to like post stream highlights and stuff, but I'm wanting to use it for like not even to promote my stream, honestly, just as like a separate kind of side thing that I can pursue.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's what my YouTube Shorts is now. It's just stream highlights. Like I get everything I need out of that. I don't really pull viewers from TikTok. Like it's just because I'm not like I feel like a TikTok creator in a way. I think I'm more meant for YouTube. And so that's where I found my success. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hang out here and do kind of a new thing over on TikTok that I enjoy.
I don't know, man. I definitely, for me, this last month, I've kind of had an epiphany, that we call it. Like I've come to realize that I definitely, I've taken a step back from the streaming. I stream like maybe half of what I used to, like a couple weeks ago. But like the content creation side is what I really do love. Like I don't think I ever. You're a creator.
Like you're a content creator, not just a streamer. You're kind of in a different realm, I feel like.
Yeah, and like to me, it's like at the beginning, the reason I made the content was to bring people over to my stream, but now it's like the content is making more money than I do streaming. And if I focus on the content, it just brings more people over to the stream when I do stream. So it's like a win-win. So like my whole mindset is shifted to the content. Like I care way more about that.
Yeah. I'm in a similar mindset. Like I still love streaming, but like I'm like, you know what? Like
It gets
streaming's
old,
good, but
especially when there's no games.
you can only do so much. And I want to like I see like I watch a lot of YouTube, and I'm like, damn, I want to like make production type videos, like Mr. Beast type shit, like going outside of my house with like someone filming and like audio equipment and like actually making a video, like surviving. Like Ryan Trahan does these videos like surviving off of a penny for 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Or like living on a boat and like trying to fucking survive off of like it's like shit like that is like really
Clickbait
cool to me.
content.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
I mean that's what gets
challenges.
views.
Yeah. And it's like I love watching those, so I'm like, you know what, I'd probably like making those too, but in my current situation, I can't really make those type of videos. So
yeah, I mean, so I look at somebody like Joe Rogan. Right? So for me, my biggest inspirations are probably Joe Rogan, The Rock, Quentin Tarantino, people like that. But the thing with like The Rock and Joe Rogan is they feel like people that if you saw them in public, you could go say hi. They're not going to be like, oh, get away from me. You know, like they're like you kind of feel like you know them a little bit, especially Joe Rogan, because of how much you listen to him talk. And that's what I want. I want people to, like, if I do start acting and stuff like that, I still want to be personal, where like people can come see how I kind of like grew as a content creator, a person, got into all this stuff. But like, like I said, I like every once in a while I could tell people are like, they recognize me, but they're like afraid to like come up and say hi. Once the masks went away, definitely more people come up. But like, I want people to feel like they can come up and say hi. Like I love interacting with the community and seeing that I do brighten people's days and distract them from the bad shit that's going on. Because that's the whole reason why I started watching streamers and content creators in the first place, was to escape. When I was in the military, there was days where I felt like shit, and what I do is I'd go watch Dr. Disrespect, or I'd go on a YouTube binge, something to distract myself. Make myself laugh, entertain myself. So that's what I want to do. I want to be that for people.
Yeah, no, it's respectable. It's kind of like the same route I think I was taking too. I think I'm still just trying to find like what I'm looking to do, because I know what I like, the variety realm, but it's like I feel like I'm still wanting to do more. Like there's something that's missing there that I want to elaborate on. So that's why I'm trying to experiment a little bit in the next. I think I'm going to try to experiment a lot over the next year and see what works and if I enjoy doing something more than the other.
I don't remember if we talked about it when you were on last time, but do you plan on making the military career, or you plan on getting out at the end of your enlistment?
No, so I plan on getting out. Right now, I'm getting out in 2025, so it's going to be a while. Combat camera have super long enlistments because
it's like
at a time
year?
there's a 6 year.
6 year, yeah.
Yeah, 6 year. And because there's only about 400 of us overall active at a time. So the military spends a lot of money to train us. Like our AIT is like a year long almost. And it's a ton of money that they end up putting into each combat camera soldier. So our enlistments have to at least be 6 years. So I got a lot of time to like work and figure out like what I want to do if I want to try to bank on this as a thing to like sustain full time.
Yeah. And I mean, Sam, how old are you?
Just turned 25.
Okay, I'm 25, and Janky, are you younger? I can't remember.
I'm 21.
21. Yeah, dude. I mean, I was in the same boat you
Wow,
are. I did 6 years, and I mean, I would go back and do it all again. I definitely would not go back. I definitely wouldn't want to try and make it a career, nothing like that. I felt like I was very peer pressured by other people in the military to try and make it a career. And once I realized it wasn't what I wanted, like it just opened up so many doors, man. And I mean,
dude, I have so many hot takes of the military that would be so controversial to talk about. It not the time, but I have so many like people in the army that are like career focused. A lot of them.
I wrote the topics and stuff. I'm definitely in like the next like week or two gonna make this video called "So You Want to Join the Military," and basically just break down everything that not everything I experienced, but as far as like joining, getting out, like the stuff that you have to think about before you join, like why are you doing it? Like, are you joining because you don't know what else to do? You want free college? You want to serve your country? You know, you want to follow in your family's footsteps. A lot of people join because their dad was in the military, you know. But at the same time, it's, you know, if you're not happy and you don't know what to do, all that's going to happen is you're going to end up,
You're going to be more unhappy.
Because now you're forced to do something that you probably don't want to do. Like 50% of the time, I was not having fun. You know, I would say
that's a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to get into a career field that's like what I do on a daily basis. I work with cameras, so it's like,
yeah,
that's cool. But obviously, like I would say, for like 90% of the combat camera soldiers that are get stationed out in Fort Irwin for their first duty assignment, ain't none of them staying in. This place sucks.
Yeah.
For like it drains you. It takes everything out of you, especially for spouses too. Like, you feel like a weird sense of guilt bringing people here because it's terrible. And like, there's only so much I can talk about being in here without it being like UCMJ to talk about.
Okay,
but
yeah.
when I get out, I'm gonna have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. It's been
Janky Lanky exposes the military.
It's gonna be dumb. It's gonna be a dumb video of just like me ranting for hours about just shit that I deal with.
I've legit had people that I worked with in the military like reach out and be like, "Hey man, like I'm thinking about getting out now." I'm just like, do it, bro. I mean, you gotta people. So Sam, when you think of the military, like, I don't know, like, how many people do you think are in the military?
How many people, like, in the U.S. military that I think there are?
All the branches combined. How many people do you think?
So there's 330 million people in the U.S. So let's say I would probably go with actually there's like close to 400. So maybe I'd say 5% of that.
It's like less than 0.5%.
Yeah, it's
super
what? Low.
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy because I'm kind of. Is it really that low? So there's what? So that means there's 2 million people?
There's like 1.3 million in the military or something like that combined.
Across all branches?
And reserves, I think. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
And reserves, 1.3 million?
And it fluctuates, you know, during wartime and stuff, obviously. But
numbers
right now,
are low, though. Numbers are very low.
Very low. Yeah.
Well, but even what's peak? Like, let's say what's like a big year for the military when there was a lot of people.
Maybe when they were drafting people in.
Yeah, definitely when they're
conscription era. I mean,
I
don't
know.
I still would have thought it would be.
If I
higher.
had to take a guess, the peak's probably like 5 million or something. Like, it's not crazy.
It even seems like a lot.
Wow.
But compared to the rest of the population of the U.S. But what I was getting at, though, is like I talked to so many people, or I had talked to so many people in the military. They're like, bro, what are you going to do? Like, what about health insurance? You know, and it's like, bro, you know, 99.5% of the U.S. is figuring it out without the government holding their hand, you know? Like, yeah. But it's a scary mindset to be in, man. It's scary getting out of the military. Because, like, I mean, especially joining out of high school. Like,
what I'll say is, like, the same people that tell you in the military, a lot of the same people that tell you in the military to stay in and make it a 20-year commitment are the same people that are super fucking afraid to become a civilian because they think it's too hard. And I work with those people on a daily fucking basis. And it's insanely frustrating because a lot of them only know, like, hand-holding by big army. That's all they know. And it's the idea of them having to be self-sustaining is terrifying.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just money. But, you know, not making money is scary. And when you get used to a certain amount in the military. I mean, I was in San Francisco and my housing allowance was like $3,200 a month. And I was banking like half of it. So my scenario is, you know, I feel very fortunate. I feel like things lined up for me specifically. So I can't speak for everybody. But I mean, I was able to save a good amount of money when I decided I wanted to get out. You know, like, you just got to be smart. Like, I had a V8 5.0 Mustang, you know, that was just burning gas. And when I decided it was time to get out, I traded it for a Corolla. Like, it's just little things like that, you know, save a lot of money.
If you play your cards right, the military will set you up for success. Like, I have a TSP set up where I'm putting like 10% or something in my paycheck per month in. So I've already got like a few grand in there. When I get out, that shit, it multiplies, and you can what you can do with it is you can put that money that's in your TSP into preferred stocks, and it will like auto trade for you. It'll like compound your money. And it's like a weird like bet you can take, but it puts it into like really safe stocks, so that way your money over the like 6 years will multiply and you'll get a lot more out of it. And if you like, I joined the military for like job experience because I was a freelancer at the age of 19, and I was making money, and I was living with my at the time girlfriend, and we were doing our thing. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get a real job. So I joined the military as a combat photographer, and I was like, you know what? This will probably translate super well on the outside, because if I go to a job interview and I'm like, hey, as a video editor, and I headed up the video department for my unit for 3 years or whatever, it's like equivalent experience as to a degree would be. And so,
see, you had a mindset though. You had an idea what you wanted to do. There's a lot of people who join the military and they're just like, I don't know what I want to do. They just hand them a gun and they're like, all right, like now you stand gate guard for 4 years. It's like, oh, dude, it's
scan
so
ID
boring. Get bit by mosquitoes all day, like literally.
Yeah.
There's so much that you can do.
If you're gonna join, you need to have a plan. That's basically it. If you join without a plan, you're gonna seriously regret your decision.
So I don't know if we talked about it before. We might have. I apologize. I don't have the best memory, but as far as like what you've done work wise, like what was kind of your like journey like out of high school?
So I didn't really know what I wanted to do after high school. I was kind of like, But then my senior year, I thought it'd be a safe bet to go into finance. So like academically, I was pretty smart. And so I was able to field some scholarships. And then I ended up going to NYU, and I went to their business school, Stern, and I studied finance there. So like when I got there my freshman year, I was already like bought into like that banker mentality, which is like a very New York thing. It's like, I want to work on Wall Street. I want to be a banker. I want to work in finance. So like really from the get-go, as soon as I got to college, I was kind of like set. I knew what I wanted my career to sort of be. I should say not wanted, just kind of like I felt like that was what I should be doing. So like I, took up internships at banks, and then I ended up just taking a full-time banking position post-college, which was 3 years ago at this point, which is crazy that I'm like this old now. But yeah, so like for the past 3 years, I've just like worked in finance at a bank, and it's like very nothing crazy. It's like a very routine type job. And it's honestly like the reason I started creating content is because it sort of fills that creative void that you feel from working in like a monkey job. Like, because you're basically like, they call you like Excel monkeys when you work in banking at like an analyst level. And so they really like, I got into content creation because I just didn't know how to kind of like output the creativity that I had, or like the need to sort of just like convey anything that wasn't like quant. And so that's, I got into this stuff, but yeah, it's just been like finance for me. That's been like my career track. And now I'm trying, I suppose, to pivot to content creation, because obviously it's like 1,000 times more enjoyable. And while you can, there's a lot of people, there's definitely like skeptics within my career fields who are like, well, why are you taking like pay cuts and stuff? Like, why would you even be thinking about that? But then like, it just reminds me why I would be doing that, because I enjoy it just that much more. It really is like, there's a clear separation between like the corporate Wall Street type job and then like content creation. It's just like so liberating. It's very hard to explain, but like
so
nobody really exits finance and goes into like content creation. Right. So it's like a weird thing that I'm sort of going through, that there's not many people that I could like talk to about that. So I'm trying to like navigate it through. But it's certainly like an interesting position right now with trying to evaluate my career and stuff.
You're not full-time with content creation, or you are?
I'm not.
You're not? But do you want to be? Is that what you're saying?
I would say I want to be. And I would say I could be. And I will be soon enough. Like, I don't know the exact date of when like it will. But like definitely I feel at this point comfortable. Like everything would be fine. But just, just waiting for certain, I guess, things to make sense in my head for when to do it and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to. Like, that's, of course, the goal. And I probably will very soon, if I'm being candid. That's
cool, man. Good for you. I always like seeing when people are able to go full-time, because it is a scary thing, making that judgment call. Yeah. And, like, I mean, for me, since the industry I wanted to work in was shut down, it was kind of like, if I don't do something, the money I saved was going to run out, and then, what happens then? So that was my mindset. And so I had like it was kind of like my, I was up against the wall, kind of had to do something. And so, and it was funny because I got out because I felt like in the military, I was just not doing what the creative side of my brain wanted to. Like my brain wanted to be used to do something, you know, and it's just like, it wasn't happening. And I feel like there's so many people out there that are comfortable, you know, lazy is not the word I want to use, but there's definitely people who are doing things because they just, they don't know how to start, or they don't. That's a big thing. I feel like people are like, well, I want to be a content creator. I want to do this. How do I start? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, the first thing you want to do is just start, but at the same time, you know, like it's not that hard to like look up on YouTube how to do these things. You know, it's just taking the time to educate yourself and realizing that you can do anything as long as you just put your mind to it. I mean, obviously there's physical limitations, but I mean,
yeah, man. Like I work a fucking like sometimes I was up editing a video last night until like 4:30 in the morning. Like, and then I go to work tomorrow at like 9 o'clock. Like, you just gotta fucking do it. And then once you get in that, I'm a person that really likes rhythm. So when I get into that rhythm and I'm going and I can stay on that, I stayed on that for like 7 months now. I'm just like streaming, doing it, TikToks, YouTube shorts, YouTube videos, and actually been growing like the amount of shit that I do. So it's like, if you want to get started, just don't like go all the way in, but like do the bare minimum at least to start and find where you're comfortable and just start making shit. Like even if it's just turning your stream on and playing Call of Duty for an hour or whatever. And like,
don't play it all day.
Seriously. Yeah. Like whenever you really like, I want to make something, then edit your first video or whatever and make your first TikTok. Like, don't just rely on Twitch to be your only form out. But, you know, just look at whatever. That's always what I say to people, too, is look at what everyone else is doing. Look at what they're doing, and then try to emulate that in your own way.
Spin, yeah. And like,
you'll be all right.
I always tell people that come into my stream and say, Danny, I took your advice and started posting TikToks, but they're not doing well. I'm like, well, what are you posting? I'm like, I'm posting a bunch of game clips, this and that. I'm like, everybody's posting game clips. Dude, showcase yourself. There's only one you. Showcase you. Yeah, I mean, you know, it might take longer to grow because you're not doing what everybody else is doing, but it's a lot harder to emulate somebody's personality than it is like a style or a type of content, you know? It's just like it's gotta be you. Don't try to be something you're not.
That's how I found my kind of start with TikTok, was just doing different shit. It was just like I saw what people were doing, I'd put my own spin on it, and then eventually it would kind of mutate into its own original idea. And then
I mean, it's just like, it's like Sam mentioning like the game show stuff. Like if I were to try that, like to me, I already know, like if I don't have a certain amount of interest, or like I feel like I'm gonna have to like look at how like Sam or you do it, you know, with your streams to kind of get an idea. Like I just feel like it's too much of trying to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, just be you. Do productive shit. I want to make that like a thing.
That's key.
Do productive shit.
Productive shit. Don't just do shit. Because if you're streaming for 8 hours, it's like literally maybe a waste of time. You could call that. That's actually like, in terms of growth.
That's the main thing. People see streamers are like, oh, so I just got to stream.
Yeah,
like,
they see
stream at all. They
see XQC streaming for like 18 hours a day, and they immediately think that's what I got to do. And it's like, bro, it is the complete opposite. Like I said, like it's at the point where I'm streaming maybe 2 hours a day, you know, 2 to 4 hours a day in increments. But
if you're making the most out of that time off stream in terms of editing videos, coming up with new ideas for better streams, you know, putting content out, maybe even working on your branding if you're just getting started, then you're doing all the right things.
And then like I know it's a kind of like I don't want to say controversial thing, but definitely it's like a debatable thing. People talk about playing with their viewers. I've always been about playing with my viewers. Like you know, to the point where like it does get annoying sometimes. People are like, hey, can I play next? Can I do this? And I'm like, bro, I just started a game. Like, I'm not gonna remember that you were the one who wanted to play next. You know, just being honest. But I want to try and do that for as long as I can, because like, to me, there's something about. I mean, the whole reason why people come into Twitch streams is because of the interaction. You know, whether it's the community or the streamer. But like, you're not just, I mean, it's one thing to watch a TV show and be like, oh, that's awesome. But if you could interact with the TV show and have an effect on it, that's even, that's just mind blowing. The interaction. Like my brother went into XQC stream one time and just asked, he like donated and asked like, are you ever going to go back to No Pixel? And XQC answered his question and like talked about it for like a minute or something. It's like, that's crazy that you can do that.
Yeah, that's always what I've been about, man, with streaming. Like the variety realm. That's like what we preach, is like trying to find unique and interesting ways to let a viewer have like a voice, essentially, in a stream. While it overall feeds to a goal. Like when we do fucking Twitch Hangman, like we have the Hangman dude, and then I enter all of the viewers that are in there into a giveaway. And then I roll them, and then whoever it lands on gives me a letter. And then if you make them fall, you get banned. That's the idea. And so it's a fun little fucking activity with stakes, and then, it's always a good time.
Yeah, I think that's why marbles on stream has always been something that does well, is because like you see your name on there and like, and so and so just got yeeted off the track. Like it's.
Marbles is fun. Marbles is a fun one.
Yeah, I need to do more of marbles. I definitely don't want to do it for giveaways, because I feel like I did that once and I was like, yeah, this is just like literally throwing a dart at a wall and like whatever name it lands on, they get it,
Yeah, sometimes it's just fun to like let them race. Just like let them enter, let them race, and then whoever wins gets VIP. Whoever wins gets to choose the next G Fuel flavor I try in another video or something like that.
Yeah, Stony Stark, he had an interesting idea, and he's been doing that, where like the people who win, they get to be his teammate for like a Warzone match or something. So that's cool. Cool way to do it. It's very time consuming. You gotta like wait for everybody to enter, this and that. But
it is, yeah.
I found that to be one of the biggest issues streaming games, though, is the downtime between matches. It's really hard to like keep the momentum and like energy going, because you're like literally sitting there trying to get people in. You're just like, bro, the name isn't right. Like it's a different name or something, like you're giving me the wrong name. It's annoying. But that's why I like doing when single player games come out, you definitely have to jump on them right away before like the craze around it goes away. But I love when like a good single player comes out, like Cyberpunk or Resident Evil 8, like, because then I get to take a break from having to do that all the time. It's refreshing. But
there's got to be a new game coming soon, dude. It's been
there's nothing,
another reason
bro.
I think Twitch is dead is because there's like nothing hype right now.
Nothing
like, you
for like
had
the next 2 months.
Among Us, you had Fall Guys, you had Rust, you had all these games that kind of like defined months at a time. And in the past, I'd say like 3 months. What was the last hype thing? GTA RP, and that kind of died when? Like May? Maybe even before, like truly died. Yeah, maybe like May. Maybe May.
It's still a pretty big thing.
Rust?
Oh yeah, by die I mean like top of Twitch at all times. Like right now, it's probably like
it switches back
5.
and forth between GTA and just chatting right now.
Okay.
As the top thing. So it's still,
but there needs to be
do
something new. There needs to be a splash on Twitch again. There needs to be
like,
something.
Unless some little indie game like Fall Guys or something pops up out of nowhere, like I don't think we're gonna have a big game until September. Because then we get like Far Cry 6.
Halo BR.
BR's like, I think they're saying that Halo BR it's gonna be like Warzone, where it comes out like 6 months after the game does.
Yeah.
So that's
I
unfortunate.
already know that's what they're going with it though, because they're making it free to play. So I think that's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna be on it. Halo, that's my shit.
So there's a hazard zone mode for the new Battlefield that's supposed to be like Tarkov, where like you go in and you loot, and like if you lose that stuff, it's gone forever. Like you don't make it to the end zone, objective, whatever. And you can only go in with gear that you loot. So that could be a game changer, I think, for first person shooters, because it's making like a more mainstream version of Tarkov. Because Tarkov, if there was one game that I could like get popular doing right now, it'd probably be Tarkov. Because Tarkov is just like, there's so much to do. It's so in depth. Like when you get addicted to Tarkov, you're addicted for like a few months. Like I'll find myself itching to like go hop on Tarkov for like a quick scav run where there's like not very many stakes. It's like if you die, you don't lose any of your real stuff. And they're shorter, because so it'll. I don't know if you guys know about Tarkov, how it works.
I've seen it, but
a little bit.
We don't really play a lot of shooters.
Right, yeah. That's right. I love shooters, so that's what I play mostly. So
yeah,
it's basically you can go in with like up to 1 to 5 people. You loot a certain map, and based off the size of the map, there's a different amount of time you have to get out, or else you die, lose everything. And halfway through that, I want to say halfway through that, scav spawn, which are players who there's no stakes. Like I said, if you die, you don't lose any of your stuff that like you brought in. Like you spawn with like randomly generated gear, and so you've got people who like spend all their in-game money to have like the best loot. They go in, and people who literally spent nothing can come in and kill you. And like it's just like the stakes are just, it's a very high low game. Like it's like gambling. Like it hurts when you die in that game.
Good.
But
That
when
sounds
you
like
get
my
out,
jam.
you're like, yeah, you're like losing your mind, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I got so much stuff. Yeah. And there's so
Oh,
much to it, man. It's so in depth. Like there's keys to get into rooms that have like good loot, but the keys are super expensive. So like not everybody has the keys, you know? And so if you lose that key, you're like, fuck, dude, you know?
Yeah,
you're like,
and
"Dude."
someone else finds the key,
Yeah.
and then that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's a wild concept of a game, but it's definitely super hardcore. That's why I'm saying if Battlefield can make a more mainstream version of that, where it's less in depth, not as high as stakes, that'll be a banger because it's super addicting.
Well, it's easy to access too. I mean, people are all going to be playing the new Battlefield when it comes out.
Yeah, one of my buddies just got he's trying to get me in on it. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but he got invited to some like early access play thing of it. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how in depth that mode is. You know, like how hardcore they go.
Yeah, the only game I saw from E3 was just Halo. And then Breath of the Wild 2. That's gonna be a banger too.
I'm worried that it's gonna be like Cold War, where like people hype up Battlefield so much that there's like no way to live up to the expectation. You know,
I feel like it's always how it is for every video game.
Oh, Cyberpunk was a
remain one.
good example of that.
Oh yeah,
I was so
Feels bad,
disappointed.
Man.
that game could have been good.
Maybe it'll be like No Man's Sky, where like a year from now, it'll be more like what they promised. You know.
Yeah.
Because like you can go on YouTube and see all the stuff that got cut out, and it's crazy, man. So we'll see. But
I wish I knew these games, man. I have no idea. No
Yeah, I
Man's
know.
You just
Sky.
don't play games.
how you
I
you
don't
play
games, bro.
You just play
I play, like,
GeoGuessr.
Fall Guys, Overcooked, GeoGuessr. I'm playing random games.
Overcooked looks fun, but I feel like
It's
you
really
can't talk
fun.
to chat.
You got to get on that power washer game, man. You got to get on that power washer.
Oh yeah, dude, the power washer simulator is on the list now.
Yeah, there you go.
Overcooked
Yeah.
too. Even in your free time, I like find a squad, play that. It's really fun.
Yeah,
really
I'll definitely have to. The Power Wash Simulator, I might like tomorrow night do like a random ass night stream and just be like, hey,
We
we're
should
gonna
all
wash
get
some
good
stuff.
at it. Yeah, we should all get good at it and do like a speed run on a level and like see who can clean everything.
We should,
the
yeah,
fastest.
we should like challenge each other, yeah, on TikTok
That's a good idea, actually.
and like show
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we beat the time, yeah.
Yeah, that could be something for your gauntlet, Sam, because Sam does these gauntlet challenges that are super cool to watch, and you could throw like a power wash simulator level on there.
That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout at all.
Because these levels, no shit, I had to clean a backyard, an entire backyard with like these giant fire pits with shit all in them, and it took me an hour and a half to clean.
I'm getting this game right after this. Like as soon as we're done,
It's
I'm literally
so
buying this
fun.
game.
There was so much to clean. It's like you got to clean the fences, you got to clean the walls, and then if you miss a speck of dirt, you have to go like looking for it. It takes fucking forever.
dude.
They tell you when you're 100% done. There's like
Yeah,
a little bar
So
or
like
something.
if you look at a fence, it'll be like, okay, the fence is part of the cleaning. There'll be a bar, and then there's like the fence post, and that has its own bar, and then like the patio has its own bar, and then it shows you in the top left like how much of the percentage of the entire map you have, and you have like a tablet with a checklist on it that shows you like all the things you have to do. It's overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's yeah, I mean, because I know we're getting, like, we've been talking longer than I said, but one last thing I wanted to talk about was like, because I thought it was interesting that Sam had brought up like how close are you to your real personality content wise, and I mean, just when I was posting, I posted a video. Somebody said watch this. It's called Monsters at Work. They made a Monsters Inc. show on Disney Plus that just came out. And I was like, I mean, I was janky. I don't even know if you were born yet. I was 5 when the first Monsters Inc. came out. And so like I just acted like over the top. I was like, nobody told me this. I ran in the living room and like my son's like watching a show or something, and I just take the remote. And he's like, my show, and I'm like, this is more important.
Yeah. No, I watched the first month, I think, when it came out, but I think I was, it was probably like
2001.
a lot older.
Came out in 2001.
Janky was 0.
I was born in 2000. I was born on May 2nd, 2000. So I was
Damn, you're young,
maybe a
Janky.
year old.
I was a fucking tiny baby when that
Dude,
came out.
I'm gonna be 100%.
Boomers up here.
I'm gonna be
right?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you though, Janky. I madly respect you doing all this while being in the military. There's no way I could have done it.
Dude,
I mean, I don't know
tough,
if it's just I obviously had a different job and stuff, so that might play into it, but mentally I wouldn't be able to do it.
If it was at any other duty station, it would be way easier because here, like rotations, you can get called out to go like with less than 24 hours notice at like 3 a.m, and then come back at like 3 p.m, and then as soon as I get back, I got to stream.
Yeah,
so it's like
for me,
tough.
it was like I would go search for people lost at sea for like 6 hours, like 6 hours of flying. There's like you got to stop in between that, get food, all that stuff. And then coming back and having to stream or make content, there's no fucking way, bro.
It's crazy.
I'd be
man.
exhausted.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the day where I can get out and do this thing full time.
This might be hard to quantify, but do you ever think about like how much more you could have grown or you could grow if you weren't in the military, if you were just doing this full time? Because the fact that you've been doing so much and have had so much success so far while being in the military, have you ever thought like, damn, if I had this time and like during this day, I could have done this and this would have helped me grow this much? Like, do you ever like, can you quantify it, you think? Like, do you realize like how much this impacts your content creation?
It causes me so much anxiety. Like it's
you can't
crazy.
Think about
like
it. You can't
I go to
think about it.
therapy
You could
for
be,
it.
oh, dude. I mean, like it's a crazy thing to think about. Like, there's so many possibilities. Like,
it's crazy, yeah. And it's like it fucks with me too. Like I go to therapy for it, and I had an appointment just before this. Like, and we like what we did is we took all of like the feelings I have about content creation. And what I've come to a weird realization is with the military and content creation that the content creation part of it on the board is like a very positive thing, but then all the branches from it are super fucking negative. Like it causes me like a ton of depression, a ton of anxiety, a ton of like, cause like I said, imagine a day where I get called in to go to work at 3 a.m. I go on mission until 3 p.m. I come home for 1 hour with preparation, then stream for 3 hours, and then edit a YouTube video. And my wife and I have no time to hang out together. Like I have zero time for myself. So it's like a crazy battle. And then as well as that, thinking about like, what could I have done with that other 12 hours when I was, out working? I could have been streaming longer. I could have been doing more videos. I could have come up with an idea. I could have been doing collabs, but I have to decline like so many collabs all the time because I can't fucking make any time because I'm unreliable.
Just go start some bar fights, get kicked out for an alcohol incident, and just claim,
right?
Just be like, oh, I have an alcohol dependency. And then like, oh, he has a problem. He just needs help.
Man,
I mean, you joke. I feel like that's not the worst idea. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's definitely people who do shit like that.
Yeah.
To get out. There was a guy who like obviously decided doing helicopter maintenance and search and rescue because I had to do both. I had to work on the helicopter and then go fly on it. Like if it broke, it was my responsibility to fix it so we get back to base. There's a lot of shit you have to know. And this one guy obviously was just like, nope, I can't do this. So he said that he had, I mean, I'm not going to say he faked a medical issue, okay? But the dude 100% stayed up all night playing video games, never slept, and then said that he had a sleeping issue. Got released with disability.
Wow. Yeah.
Like he had sleep apnea or something. And like, I mean, I'm not saying there's ways to like, fake results for that test because they do. They put you in a lab and they make sure like, okay, this dude literally like he has insomnia or he has sleep apnea, whatever. There's ways to make it happen.
Yeah. The way they test for sleep apnea is they make you sleep in a room and then they count how many times you stop breathing per second or per minute. And it was my dad, he got diagnosed with it. Yeah. And
he's just doing it on purpose.
Yeah. My dad stopped breathing 35 times per minute. So
Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
Yeah. Half of the time he's sleeping, he's not breathing. I was like, how are
that's
you
messed
not
up.
dead yet?
Yeah, how are you alive?
Dude, you just gotta
Like,
think like my jiu-jitsu instructor when I was in LA, he has narcolepsy. And so his trigger was if he laughed too hard, he would literally just pass out.
Wow.
And he was in the military, and he said he was on a boat, and they were watching like The Simpsons or something. And he laughed and like passed out, and people were like, "Dude, something's wrong with you." He's just like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is just normal. This happens to me." And
No,
then
it's not normal.
yeah, and then so they released him on that, and I think he found out that what's the horse tranquilizer? It's like it's used as like a date rape drug. It's like gnarly.
Oh,
I can't remember. Anyways, somebody was like, "Hey, I have this issue, and you just take a little bit of this, and it helps you like actually sleep." Because he found out that when he was sleeping, his brain, he was not actually sleeping, and so like he woke up after like using that stuff and was like, "Dude, this is what it actually feels like to get real sleep." Like it was life changing,
Wow.
you know.
Whoa.
So I mean, sleeping issues are crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, just think about it. This guy who decided to get out because he didn't want to do it, but then, you know, said he had these sleeping issues. Not only did he get out like halfway through his enlistment, but now he's being paid for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to the hospital for a really weird medical thing, and I don't know if it's something that you guys want to talk about on this podcast. It's weird. It's very weird. I'm gonna do a story time about it when this whole thing folds over, but it's very weird, and I'm very curious to see what they say. So maybe on another podcast we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
we'll
later down the road. I definitely wouldn't want to like disclose anything that's ongoing. Yeah, I mean, because I'm just now starting my like disability process, and so like seeing the things that you can claim is crazy, man.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff, man. I had like an accident in a Humvee where I don't know if you've ever driven a Humvee before, but they have below the steering wheel is a giant metal sheet that kind of hangs out and controls like it's where the the speedometer is, the gas. But we're following someone in this Humvee in a convoy, and we hit this crazy fucking berm, and my knee slammed up into this thin metal sheet, and I thought my knee shattered. It turns out I was fine, but when I went on this plane, a flight to go to Michigan, the elevation caused my knee to just start freaking the fuck out, and like the whole 3-hour plane ride, it was like brutal pain in my knee, and I was like, holy shit, like that's crazy that accident caused my knee to hurt like this, but only did I notice it in like the difference of elevation. It was strange.
Did you get it documented when you're on that plane?
No, I haven't done shit about it because that was literally like a week ago that I was like, holy shit, like, I didn't even know this was a problem.
Before I was getting out, I had to go to physical therapy for my knees because it kept banging them up. I'm a short guy, so like the way that I would climb up into the helicopter and stuff, I would put my knee on the thing and put my weight on it and just climb up that way. But then bringing the rescue basket in, I would always hit it on my knees, or I would smack my knee on this post that you hang on to, and just my knees. For a 25-year-old guy, my knees are fucked, bro. Yeah.
Military does that. it's not good on you.
Yeah.
Jumping around in this fucking Humvee is like bouncing. Like it's horrible out here.
I've got tinnitus too. It'll wake me up. My left ear.
Yeah, I got diagnosed with that too. I'm 21 with fucking diagnosed tinnitus. It's insane.
Yeah, it'll literally wake me up, and like I'll be tossing and turning. My wife will be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "My ear's ringing. I literally can't sleep." Yeah. So I'll go like edit or something just to wait till it goes away, because I'm hearing it right now. It just
what happened with mine is that my ears will mute and I won't be able to hear anything for like 15 seconds, and the ringing will hang out there, and then like if I get like slapped in the face or some shit, or if I hit my head on something, then it'll immediately like come back like way stronger.
Yeah, no,
it's
and
weird.
I think what happened was in a helicopter you wear double hearing protection, so like you have like the helmet which has like hearing protection on it, and then you wear like earplugs. Well, I got these fitted earplugs. They had us like get molded, and I think the left one was like not properly sealed, and so it was still letting in noise.
Oh yeah.
And so it just, and they say when your ears are ringing, it's the hairs in your ear dying. Like they're trying to grow back, but they die.
Whoa. That's weird.
Yeah.
I just had a hearing test recently, and then the doctor was like, you have tinnitus, right? And I was like, well,
I have scarring in my ear, I've been told.
Really?
So yeah, I have straight up scarring in my ears.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's just aviation, man. I mean, my grandfather, he worked on planes during Vietnam, and he can't hear shit. You have to tell him things like 10 times.
Huh?
Huh?
It's the sound I'm so used to hearing. Huh?
Yeah, but all right. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, but we've been going for 2.5 hours, so I figure I'll let you guys go. I got stuff to do too. But
Yeah, I gotta edit some shit.
Awesome. Yeah, dude. Time flies, man. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on again.
I like this. I like this group. It was fun talking.
Is this just last thing? Is this the first time you've had 3 people on?
No, I've done 4 before, or I've like 4 people at once.
Oh, right. And you host with your brother, right? You do the
yeah,
the
I do that one too, and we've talked about bringing guests on that one. Like I said, that one we literally just we're not talking about. We'll talk about content creation, but it's like, all right, let's stop talking about TikTok. Let's
Yeah.
Dude, when I was at the store this week, like, this happened. It's like just dumb stuff. And so like the highlights that come out of it are really funny. So
we should do another one of these again, like 6 months down the road. I feel like it's fun to like do these and then just see how different shit is.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in a
like
movie with The Rock.
Sam's not gonna be doing GeoGuessr anymore. Sam's gonna be the fucking power wash simulator guy.
Yeah, the current world record holder.
It's
like it's so different, just a few months can change, man.
Yeah, Sam, let us know about the round 3 of Jeopardy next week. I'm game, dude.
Yeah, I'll send you a message. And Janky, hopefully, I mean, if you're not working, obviously that's yours. And even if so, man. Danny, like we could find someone else if Janky's busy. Janky's a busy man, dude. I'm not gonna hit you up at all. I know I hit you up sometimes. Hey, gauntlet. I don't even want to put that on your plate. That's the reason
why I can't ever participate is because I'm fucking crazy booked, and like I always feel bad having to say no, but I literally just can't commit sometimes,
Yeah,
and I feel that now, man.
Janky, by the way, I mean this goes for both of you, but Janky, dude. I mean, I know what it's like to be in the military and be overwhelmed. So if you ever need to like reach out, dude, I'm always here.
No, I got you, man. Yeah, you're like one of the only military content creators that I even fucking know of. So I'll definitely hit you up if anything. You need anything, especially with the disability shit, man. I'm gonna start looking into that because
I've definitely dropped the ball and like I'm playing catch up with that stuff. So
yeah, I might have to hit you up about that.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk to you about that. But yeah, both of you, I guess we'll start with Janky. Where can people find your stuff?
Just jankylankyTV on literally everything. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I exist all across the board. So jankylankyTV, and we'll see you there.
Sam?
I wish I was just consistent. I got Sambucha on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, and then it's Sambucha Lull on TikTok and Instagram. But just if you look up Sambucha, it should come up everywhere. So just Sambucha.
Cool. Well, thanks for being on, guys. I appreciate the conversation. It's a good time.
Yeah,
it's fun. Thanks for having me.
As always.
Till next time.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.